Welcome back to the Pine Knot Lodge. Brought to you by Rack Attack Outdoors. We've got a good one tonight.
Yes.
Me and Swilly's here with somebody that can put us in a chokehold and choke us up on the range too. We got Josh Miller in the house.
What's up, guys?
And I'll let him do the introduction because I don't deserve it.
Oh, no introduction, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, dude,
first
absolutely.
and foremost.
Thank
you. Yeah, no. Dustin and I, Swilly, as we call him.
Yeah.
From the African Plains.
From the African Plains. South African?
Kind of.
Yeah.
So anyways.
3/4.
He was in the shade tree most of the time.
I understand.
Yeah.
So, just going way back, and you reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to come on and seeing what you guys have been putting out and, getting some of those motivational speakers. And then you had Albert on, I think, for some reason. I don't know why.
I know.
Claims he knows something about
Very
trapping.
little knowledge.
He's very knowledgeable when it comes to it.
First timer.
Just seeing everything that you guys have been putting out, I'm really excited to be here. So thanks for having me.
Man, I truly the honor's mine. Like, we've been talking about it. Like I said, I met you one time. We were both doing something that we love. I was on a little higher scale than you. Like, I was shooting for a local league, and I think you were going to like some USA event or something. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, you were nice. You were a nice guy then, and I thought about you a lot. Never knew you. I didn't really know where you were from. And then he had mentioned knowing you from back in your skater days.
Oh yeah. Used to have a head full of hair, man. Luscious locks.
Yeah, we was running the town.
We were getting run out of town. I think we got kicked out of a few businesses for skateboarding.
Look what it done. It made you into better individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. Like I think I mentioned that on the previous podcast that very few people know that I used to skateboard, but here's one guy that used to know that. Like,
and now he shoots crossbows.
Yeah, we used to try to find the biggest staircase and shoots crossbows.
He said, "Well, hold on now, hold on."
That would hurt his feelings. I'm across the table. Maybe he won't put me in that chokehold, but no, that is cool because like I said, I can't even stand on a skateboard. I don't belong on one. But I've always been intrigued by them. I had Tony Hawk as a kid. I pretty much knew what I was doing.
That's all you needed.
That's all I needed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, my body ain't meant for it right now. My knees wouldn't take it.
No. No.
But looking back at the memories, man, that we had a good time.
Yeah, and that's, just memories. It doesn't matter what you're doing in life. Just keep making
the memories, man. So what age were you guys around skating? Because when you came in here like freshman year of high school, you said, or was it before then from Arizona?
Arizona.
Were you from Arizona?
Albuquerque, New Mexico, where the real cowboys come from.
Jeez.
No, but yeah, Albuquerque. I moved out here when I was 4.
Why did I think Arizona? I even thought today in my head.
It's close.
Is it?
It's out west.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
But no, I moved out here when I was 4, and then I picked up skateboarding when I was like, 12 or 13, I think. I had a guy come over, and he showed me he attempted an ollie. And I was like, dude, that's cool. And then, I just sank into it. And I skated every day and mastered an ollie. And then next thing you know, it was just ate up with it.
Mm-hmm.
And, and from hearing how you are with archery, you're the same kind of guy. Like, you've got that determination when you pick something up, you're going to go with it and you're going to, try to master it. And that can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. Like, we've talked before about, when you have kids, sometimes you're hard to, you're putting the pressure on them because you want them to, master it right off the bat, 7 years old. And
third grade.
We didn't have distractions, but nobody had phones. We didn't have internet. I didn't have Tony Hawk until PlayStation 2s came out. Yeah. I was way behind times. I played baseball. That was it. And I picked up a bow. I always had one, but your typical Walmart, hey, go shooting a hay bale type of thing. But I started getting serious into 13, 14 years old and just fell in love with it. And that's what's got us kind of here today is just that drive. But I'm interested to see when you went from skating to shooting, or if you've always done it, or if you grew up hunting or what. Because I don't know,
and not a lot of people know my backstory.
And you don't shoot crossbows, by the way.
I don't shoot crossbows.
Okay, thank God.
So before we get started, you asked me to do a little introduction. So my name is Josh Miller. I am a 3-time Team USA member, longbow division. Got 22 state titles, 7 national podiums, 1 world championship at TAS for the longbow division, and then I won bronze for our country in 2023. A couple years before that, I was top 16 qualifier in the world, And then I won 2 gold medals for Team USA in the
Insane.
Pan American
I'm outta
Field
here.
Championships in 2025.
I'm not worthy.
Somebody
No, you're worthy.
give this man a mic so we can drop it.
No kidding.
No, that is cool.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Seriously, cool.
So, but yeah, just a local dude. You know, a lot of people don't know me, and that's I like it that way. You
Exactly.
know,
Yeah.
you know, it's like stuff like this. You know, we're just chatting, we're just having fun, we're just dudes from the block. We all have our own problems. We all, you know, have our own little issues, but
Yeah.
you know, you got to find a passion, something that you want to, you know, try to put yourself just to the highest level. Just find something and grind it out. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, but no, you asked me. Growing up, I was not a hunter. I was always competitive, you know, from skateboarding in high school. But you know, I was like baseball. I played baseball from t-ball all the way up through high school.
Yeah.
I quit when I was a freshman, but you know, my brother, he was 3 years older than me. My mom, we lived out in the country in Farmville, Coon Island. You know, it's
Coon
nothing
Island.
but swamps. You know, there's one house out there by the conservation that's fallen in. That's where those are my stomping grounds.
Really?
Yeah, that's where I'm from, boys. So my
Skeeterville.
basketball court was a dirt patch in gravel
Oh
roads.
yeah.
You know, but played baseball up. You know, my mom didn't want to make multiple trips to the baseball field, so she asked the coach, "Hey, can he play up?" And yeah, you know, like let him try out, and I did good. And I was actually a shortstop. I was like this tall, and everybody else is this tall.
So you're not
You
so
know.
short anymore.
No, but you know that's the way it was. And then
Yeah.
then basketball, you know, I played 4 years varsity. I was a starter as a freshman. Was second male from Neelyville to ever play in the BA Promotions All-Star game.
No kidding.
That was pretty cool. And then cage fighting. Yeah, I did get into cage
Yeah.
fighting. 155 division. I will never see that weight again. I ate that dude a long time ago.
Never say never.
And then and then I stepped up to the 170 division to fight a guy from St. Louis for the title and won, and then gave the belt back to go through nursing school, and you know, just been trying to find a little niche here and there every once in a while, and picked up a longbow and kind of got off to the races, but
Yeah, why not?
and why not?
No kidding.
You know, but it all started with hunting, be honest with you. So I had a really bad hunting incident when I was like 8 years old. I almost died from it.
No kidding.
Yeah. So, you know, crazy uncle, everybody that, you know, here's Uncle Rico that just tells you, you know, drives out in the middle of nowhere. And it was actually in Ellington, you know, it's nothing but hills.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, you know, he's taking a couple of his kids out and he's like, you know, 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock. And my grandma gives us all a gun, no safety instructions.
Yeah.
Just like, this is your grandpa's 308 British bolt action from World War II. Here you go.
Yeah.
Ain't been clean since the trenches, you know. It's like, hell yeah, thanks, Grandma. You know, you go out.
Where's my cookies?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, where's the snack bag? You know. But anyway, so yeah, we're going down this hill and he opens the door and he's like, all right, walk down that way and find you a tree.
Yeah.
Just walking as an 8-year-old with a gun
In the dark.
In the dark, dude. It was terrifying. And anyway, so what do most kids do when they go hunting? Fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm out there by myself on the ground. I fall asleep. You know, I wake up and sun's up, and I'm like, you know, he said he was going to come back, but I don't know if he did. So I get up. I just take off walking. Oh yeah, go in the wrong direction. And
Yeah.
by the grace of God, my brother was like 3 ridges over. I mean, I made it to him, and he sees me. He's like, what are you doing? And he's like, come here, you know. And as I'm going to him, you know, I fall in this little creek, and it's, you know, it's wintertime. I freeze, and I almost froze to death. And so anyways, never went hunting again until after high school. And
Don't blame you.
yeah, so a guy that we used to skateboard with, Brandon Cisco.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took me out hunting one time. He's like, you know, just, you got to go hunting. We're going to have a good time. I'm like, all right, let's give it a try. Went out rifle hunting, killed a deer right out of the get-go, and, you know, got hooked, and then did that for 2-3 years, and then, you know, really started to build a relationship with outdoors, you know,
Yep.
and really enjoying it. And I thought, man, I don't want this to end. So I picked up compound and did compound shooting for, about a year. And then I was just looking through Facebook one day, and there was a guy that had this like massive buck at his feet, and he's holding a longbow up, and I was like, dude, that's pretty badass.
Pure stick and
that's-
string.
like, I want that. Like,
Yeah.
that's not around here. I'm a trailblazer. I'm all about stuff. I was like, I got to do that.
It looks
you know?
hard. Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
it. So
And that naturally, I can already
Yeah.
tell you're determined that not the easy route on things.
That's why I said when you said you'll never see 155 again, with your mentality, if you wanted it, you can have it.
yeah,
You know,
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I might,
You turn sideways, you'd see you be invisible.
I was about to say I might be stripping copper at
were you that?
155.
Were you that tall? Whenever you were?
Yeah. So I was 163 or 163. I was 6'3", and I fought at 155. I walked around about 168, 170, and I would drop 15 pounds.
Man,
just
you got,
nothing but
you
water
guys
weight.
fighting like that. That is
Oh, I ended up in the ER twice over it, and almost had to back out of the fight.
Body shutting down on
you.
Oh
yeah, like shaking.
How long would it take you to drop weight? Like if you said you carried around 165,
less than 24 hours.
Oh my god! Yeah, man, like in the Marine Corps, we had guys that would drop like 10 pounds, and that would like put them like almost comatized, and they were just going out to. I mean, we had to do weigh-ins and do PFTs, but we weren't out fighting for like damn near our lives.
Yeah, so like what we would do, we had sponsors and stuff like that, so we could get pretty into it, and we would get like diuretics and stuff, which are very not cool. Yeah, if you're trying to shred weight. But I'd go 24-hour fast. I would hit up the saunas, the garbage bags. So you're sitting in there in the sauna, and you're like, whenever you see that window start to close and you're getting black, it's like, get out.
Yeah.
Go run in the shower. You still got on your garb, the whole 9 yards. Super ice cold. Wake yourself back up, and then it's like, all right, hit the scale. We got 8 more pounds. Back at it, So you would just sit there and you would do that, and then you'd hit the cycle machine, and you would almost kill yourself. I remember the last time I weighed in, it was in Kennett, and I was fighting a guy. Everybody I was fighting was like 4 foot. They were like bulldogs.
So you got the reach.
So they're looking up and they're like, yeah, like I'm going to take this guy down and stuff. And that's cool. Jits was way better than stand up. But I remember as I'm weighing in, I'm just looking at these guys like Ivan Drago, but it's not like I'm going to kill you. It's like, I'm too tired to even see what you look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we would always hit up a Chinese restaurant on the way up. Get your, 8-10 pounds back.
Yeah.
Just like that. Like nothing ever happened. Best night's sleep you'd ever have.
I guarantee.
Ready to go to war in the morning.
Man, that sounds not fun at all.
It was
I
not.
mean,
that is, yeah.
I mean, kudos to you. Like, yeah, I don't like fighting anyway. Shit hurts.
When you talk about like the healthy side of things, that probably is not the healthiest thing to do.
No, absolutely not.
When you take competition, just like bodybuilding and stuff like that, sometimes like you look at bodybuilders and you think they're healthy because they do eat healthy.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you put that competition in there, that competition can make a man go non-healthy real quick because you're trying to be the best.
I could put more stuff in my body to gain more mass, which is hard for me to do, but you're not doing much on the longevity point of it. And I'm here for longevity and just like well-being. So I'm going to take things slow and get my blood checked and take what I need to take and stray away from as much bad crap as possible. And I still want to live life and enjoy life. So I'm going to have a beer and eat some junk food, but
moderation.
I'm damn sure not going to try to go to that extreme.
Yeah, 20 years old, you don't give a crap, dude.
No,
no kidding.
Not at all.
36, 37, I don't know how old I am now, but you're like, like, a pizza doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
all right.
Yeah.
Not a bag of Skittles like I do every
I'm going to try to drop
night,
10 pounds this year, not tonight.
Over the year.
Yeah, that's insane. So you done that for how long? How long did you fight for?
I fought for about 9-10 months. I got really good really fast.
Yeah.
Had some really good trainers, but it's like, I'm a competitor at heart, so whenever I started cage fighting, I don't want to say I was bullied in high school, but I wasn't really, like people didn't go out of their way to try to be my friend. I was kind of like a nerd, but I was in all the cliques,
Yeah.
But just after high school, I was watching it on TV one day, and I was like, those guys don't look like they take crap off of anybody. And I was like,
even
I
being
wanted
smaller.
That. Yeah. So, but then it's like, it's a competition, and it was off to the races, but 5 days a day, 5 days a week, I was training like 1-2 hours. I was taking Taekwondo, throughout through like Mondays and Wednesdays, and then Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays was all jits, wrestling, and just, sparring, just beating the heck out of each other, but it was like that all day, every day. Sundays was the only days that you really, took off, some days, Saturdays, but it was, just like anything else, if you really want into it, but it wasn't very fun.
Do you think that helped you combat nerves and stuff with shooting a bow? Does that have anything to do with that? Maybe turning into that? I mean, you're kind of going from a little bit of an extreme to a different one.
To an extent, I'm riddled with anxiety. I know you wouldn't be able to see it. I hide it very well. But let me tell you something, especially in the cage, man, they close that door. People can talk a big talk and like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And you'll see them like beating on the cage and stuff.
Or they give you that
Boys,
glare.
I can tell you I don't want to say it's a show, but I would say 90% of that is show.
Yeah.
You know, but if you do something enough, you believe it. Like even in the training that I do now, like I would write little sticky notes and place them up on the wall and be like, you know, I'm the best shooter I know. You know, I'm Team USA. I'm a gold medalist. I didn't ever want a gold medal at that point. But like I had to believe that I could do that. If you tell yourself you're going to do something, if you're going to tell yourself you can do something, and you have to be able to write something and look at it and believe it. The more you look at something,
How many
the more
times
you
we
believe
say
it.
that?
Dude,
we
that's
talk
all-
about,
Yeah. So, and that's what it was
Yeah.
with cage fighting. I mean, I would sit there and I would just be like, I'd be pumping around and I'm, you know, trying to get the mean face. Dude, inside there's a little schoolgirl screaming, just like trying to get out of it, you know, like, but as soon as that cage closes, it's like, it's getting real, you know, and the nerves are all pumped up. And then you're like, you don't want to really do this. And I don't know, there's a bunch of mixed emotions,
I guarantee it.
but after that first punch is thrown,
Oh yeah.
boys, it's out the window.
Yeah.
It's out the freaking window.
It's like blackout mode.
So, yeah, then it's like, all right.
I'm going ape shit up on your ass.
Yeah, that's exactly like I'm all jacked up.
Double
on my-
Mountain Dew.
Dude, I'm telling you. And it's the same way with archery, like especially with archery. I get to where I'm like uncontrollably shaking. And I'm just like, you know, I'll start doing these breathing exercises.
Does
and
your
just
palms ever get sweaty?
100%.
Yeah.
Knees weak, arms are heavy.
Mom spaghetti.
Yeah.
Every bit of it.
How do you? What's the best thing you?
Yeah, I was
found
gonna ask
to
you about your
combat
breathing, too.
Anxiety.
There's really no fix, boys. I'm telling you. None that I found yet. There might be a fix,
Yeah.
but the
Adderall.
more you do something, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like training. The more you do something, the easier it gets. So putting yourself in high pressure situations constantly
Yeah.
Yeah, that
helps.
That is
Yeah.
a powerful
Learning
statement.
your body, when to recognize when you're starting to get those ticks, when you're starting to get a little amped up, you know, breathing techniques that really helped me out this last go around in Mexico and even with Argentina, you know, whenever I won bronze. You know, just being able to understand when it's coming on and then figure out, okay, I'm not going to let it win this time.
Yeah.
What do I got to do? You know, it's just a mindset.
I was listening to Joel Turner the other day, and he was talking about that exact same thing. He said, there's no getting rid of it. He said, eventually you will face it and you will combat it just because you're used to doing it. But he said, it's going to continue. It's always going to be there. It may come up in your fingertips. He said, used to come up in his legs. They would get so shaky. He said they would visibly just shake, and he couldn't shoot. And he said then he'd get it rid of it, and it may come back in his eyesight. He's like, it's always going to be there. He said, but it's up to you. He said, it's all in your mind. You know, said physically, whatever. He said, yeah, you need to train to get there, but it's all in your mind. He said, you can combat it and not maybe eradicate it, but you can control it.
That's true.
But if you don't face it, like you don't know how to get over it because everybody's different. He can help teach you the processes, like the breathing thing. Breathing to me is huge in archery. And I used to shoot one way, holding my breath or letting down. You know, I went in respiratory pause in the Marine Corps shooting rifles.
Sure.
Well, when I do respiratory pause with the bow, I drop low below the target and I can't come up. So I hold a 3/4 pause on my breath. Well, then I take a while to squeeze which I'm shooting release, and I end up getting shaky at the last bit of that shot. And sometimes it feels like I'm forcing it and not getting a clean break.
Sure.
So I'd be interested in kind of seeing how you breathe because that to me does help a lot with controlling your whole entire body.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. There really isn't much to it. I mean, I just tell myself I'm going to take a big breath. So even during my process, you know, as I'm like, it's like a tempo 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So as I'm like dropping my bow down, as I'm going to knock an arrow, 1, 2, 3. During that time, I'm like, it's almost like a tempo, like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But as I'm knocking my arrow and as I'm drawing it up, it's all in tempo. As I'm drawing back to my anchor, as I'm setting my back tension, as I'm sitting there just holding, it's like it is a tempo. It's like a wave that's coming in. And I know that sounds kind of cliche,
repetitive too.
but you know, but it's just understanding that. But what Joel is so great about, and what I love about his stuff, it's shot IQ, and it works great with not just archery, but anything, whether you're getting the nerves or whatever.
He was talking to professional football players and baseball players.
100%,
You know, it's all mental. He can control the mental game.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So every shooter has their process, you know, whether they start with, so with me, I start at my feet and I work my way up. You know, I set, if I'm like trying to put, like, let's just say this is the gold, I'm taking the middle of my foot and I'm making sure that that's in line with the gold. And then I'm setting my foot 45 degrees angle, like in relation to my shoe, just setting that check. Next, waist, 11 o'clock, check. You know, the bow arm straight, set, everything. So as I'm going through, it's a check mark. But whenever you get on these tournament lines and you start to, you know, have those nerves coming up and everything else, his saying is you got to be the loudest one in the room.
Yep.
You know, that voice. We all have that inner voice that's just telling you, oh, you can't do this, or, oh, gosh, what, don't screw up or nothing.
It's time to run if you see that time.
Yeah, it's make your voice be the loudest in the room.
Yeah.
I got this. You have to have a mentality that you're going to succeed or you're not going to.
Yep.
If you don't have a winning mind, you don't have that you believe in yourself, let me tell you, you've already failed.
That's hard. That's a hard thing to explain to different people.
Yes.
Because like I try to explain to my wife all the time, like I am my own worst critic. Like whenever it
Absolutely,
comes
dude.
to anything,
100%.
like you know, so a couple podcasts ago we did my weight loss journey, and like I weighed 260 something pounds 2 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And like so, like trying to get myself to do that, like I mean, like if I cheated on a meal, it's not you that's gonna matter. It's me. And like I would look at myself, and I mean I'd be like a drill sergeant to myself, you know. And it's hard to explain that inner voice to yourself.
Sure.
But that inner voice can also help, like you said, calm you down, like or tell you. I've been reading a book. It's called The Secret, and it says, you know, like many successful people have used this secret, and then it goes on to explain what the secret is. And the secret is they call it the law of attractiveness, I think is what they said.
Law of attraction, or
A law of attraction.
law of attraction.
Basically, like you are going to attract whatever you think about. So if you think you're a loser, you're going to be a loser.
100%.
If you think you're a winner, you're going to be a winner. And you have to control your mind you got to program, because it's not natural.
Yeah.
Like you got to program your mind every day to say, hey, look, you got this. And think about everything that makes you happy. Think about good thoughts, you know, and just program that. And that's awesome how you put that.
Yeah.
About, you know, you can, if you can believe it, you can achieve it.
Yeah.
And that's not no joke.
And
Sure.
We've been hearing this from people like you and like Caleb Watson and even Al, like Trappin. You know, they all have, it's that mindset, you know, and you can hear it. We all have that voice in the back of our head saying it, but so many times it's just easier not to listen to it because that's the uncomfortable, hard thing
It's
to do.
uncomfortable.
It is. But to people like you that have achieved your goals, you know, to yourself, probably not, but you've achieved what many will never even set out to do, let alone achieve what you have done. Same thing with Caleb or Al with them trapping. It all started in their mind. You know, it started with one step and in their mind, and the rest is just another step and more mind games, another step and more mind games. But it's telling themselves over and over and over again that, hey, who cares what these guys are saying? They don't matter. It's me and you right now. And you know, and you just keep on trucking at it and look where it can get you. You know, it's amazing.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
and I mean that's 100% honest, because I whenever I was trying to make Team USA initially, I was like I didn't have a good self-image. I didn't have good self-confidence. I know I was shooting top tier. Like around here, locally, there's not really much shoots. There's not really much going on. So I have to do a lot of traveling. But whenever I was like, I had seen that there was Team USA. I remember the day that I saw it on Facebook. I was like, whoa, I got to learn about this.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm top dog here,
Yeah.
you know? And then I was really awesome. I felt great. And then I finally figured out I wanted Team USA and what sacrifices I was going to make to be able to get that, you know, and we can get into that later. But there was this mindset that I was top dog. And then I went to all these big shoots throughout the nation, and I'm not doing as hot as I thought I would, you know, do as good. So that's always back to the grinding block, getting back. But during this process of me losing and coming back, my self-confidence was going down a little bit more each time. And I'm like, maybe I don't belong. Maybe I'm not Team USA material. Maybe I'm not this, you know, I'm just an average Joe from Coon Island, Missouri, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, nobody knew who I was. Nobody knew anything about me. I didn't even know much about myself in archery, you know, but I created this image of myself that I wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
But I still wanted to at least try for this team. You know, so I had to find ways to get myself back up, because I ended up getting such a bad shooting slump. I was, you know, doing the drive-bys or getting that itchy finger, as you would call it, you know, and just not doing very well. And so I knew that I just didn't belong. And I do a lot of speeches throughout the U.S. And one of my things and one of my points is, in order to belong, you must feel you belong. You know, so I was
powerful.
I was having issues, and you know, I remember I made a Facebook post like, poor pitiful me, woe is me, I'm not doing so good. And I remember a guy from Illinois messaged me. He said, get that crap off of there.
Exactly.
He said, get that off of there, and I'm going to recommend a book. And I was like, man, I haven't read a book since like 7th grade.
Yep.
You know, so it's like I'm that hick that's like, you can get more from a TV than what you can from reading, you know.
Yeah, that's not this morning.
Yeah, come on with it, preach. But I was like, all right, you know. He said, I'm going to recommend a book. He's like, your top tier shooters know about this book. They're not talking about it. He's like, but I guarantee you they know about it. And it's called With Winning in Mind. And it's by Larry Bassam, I do believe is the person that wrote it. But he was an Olympic shooter. And pretty much what it's doing is it's creating a mindset, like a winning mindset. And it was literally everything I was struggling with. There's like a 3-tier system in it. And it's self-confidence, self-image, and then the conscious mind.
Yep.
You know, and it's bringing all three into unison. If you don't believe that your self-image is good enough, your self-confidence isn't going to follow suit. If your conscience isn't following suit, and it's just like you have to have all three.
Yep.
You know, so like one of the things that I did was I talked earlier about sticky notes. You know, I was feeling like I didn't belong with these group of shooters. So what I did was I took these sticky notes and I wrote, what did I write? I am the best shooter I know. Make the team.
Yep.
You know, and I put that crap up everywhere. It was on the fridge. It was in my truck. It was on the mirror, you know, in our bedroom. It was above the toilet in the bathroom. Probably not a good idea, but it was there, you know.
Spend some time there.
Exactly. You know, just, yeah.
Prepping, of course. Yeah, prepping.
Yeah, cheers. So, but here's the thing. Regardless if that statement was true or not, I had to believe it.
Yeah.
I had to believe in myself because nobody's going to do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to do it for you or anybody else. They can say, you know, I believe in you. You're going to do great. But they can't believe in you the way that you can believe in yourself.
No.
I can promise you that. So that's what I started doing, was creating a better self-image, better self-confidence, and then, you know, going and trying out for Team USA. Even when I was there, you know, day one of shooting, trying to make this team, there's some top dogs there, you know, legends of the sport. And here I am. I've never made a team. Half these people don't even know who I am.
Yeah.
But I know who they are because they're gold medalists. They're people that have set the freaking, you know, course for longbow in the country. And I'm getting to rub shoulders with these dudes. Day one, I was in 5th place. You know, most people are like, oh, 5th place, that's not bad. You know, because top 3 go. But there was like the top 3 were up here, very high bracket. And then there was a huge gap. And then there was 4th and 5th place.
Big separation.
Dude, and I remember hearing a podcast that night, and they're like, all right, let's look at the Team USA people in barebow compound. And then they get to longbow, and they're like, oh, you know, well, there's a huge gap there, boys and girls. Like, this is pretty much going to, these top 3, that's, you know, that's probably going to be your team. Number 4, he might be able to squeeze in there, but you're pretty much looking at your team. And I remember sitting in my hotel at night. Like, I'm just, after day one of getting my tail kicked, I'm like, you know, not this time. Not this time, you know. So I'm sitting there, and in this book, it says if you're getting nervous or you can't sleep the day before, imagine yourself doing what you want to achieve. Just imagine yourself doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm closing my eyes, and I'm laying in bed, and I'm just imagining myself, you know, shooting a target. Like there's a javelina. He's 23 yards uphill, slight left. You know, I know where my gap needs to be. I'm just imagining myself, draw, anchor, aim, breathe. Just imagining myself just knocking the middle out of that
12
target.
ringing it.
And dude, I bet you I shot 5,500 targets that night.
Yeah.
And I remember waking up in the morning. I'm like, it's go time. I don't care. Like, look, we're gonna make this team. But the thing was like I had to realize I probably couldn't catch top 3. But number 4 is an alternate. And if you make the 4th place, one of the top 3 can't go, you fill that void.
Okay.
So I was like, well, I may not catch top 3, but I can catch number 4. Number 4 was Shiloh Butts. He's probably, if not the best longbow shooter in this country. And he's multiple gold winner. He's won 3D World Archery Championships. He's bronze medalist too, and 3D archery. Just an amazing, amazing shooter. And that's who I was going up against for 4th place. And all day long, we're going back and forth. And every time I'd start to catch him, boy, he'd take off. And I remember we came down to like the final few targets, and I ended up making a bad shot, and I didn't catch him. And I remember I'm just looking at him, you know, but my character speaks a lot about me. Like I want to be a good image for people. I want to have a good heart.
Yep.
And I want people, even if I fail, I want somebody to take something from it. Mm-hmm. So I remember going up to Shiloh before we even scored our arrows. And I said, hey man, you know, I just want to say congratulations on 4th place. You know, like you're a hell of a shooter, dude, a great human being. Like, you know, if you get the chance to represent our country, you're going to do awesome. You're going to shoot well. I told him everything that I would tell myself, or I wish somebody would have told me if I made that team. And that was the hardest thing I could have done, but I still done it because I truly believed it.
Yeah.
I remember we scored our targets, and then, you know, we're up there, and we have these, like, Shiloh had a card and I had a card for our group. And you go up, like every target, you're just making sure that the scores match. But there's not a running total. So after you're done, you go up to the clubhouse, you do a running total. And I remember we're sitting there scoring, and the top 3 dudes, they're in a different group. They come down, and I looked at Shiloh, and I was like, 383. I remember the guy from the top, he was in second place. He goes, Shiloh shot a 383? I said, no, I did. I said, Shiloh beat me. And you could just see the panic in their face. And I looked at Shiloh. I said, we got to get these cards figured out, bub. Shiloh and I shot so well. We jumped from 4th and 5th to 1st and 3rd place, and we had just made the team.
No kidding.
Dude, it was like, but the thing is, and I know that's a long story, a little off topic, but the thing is like, I had to believe in myself. I could have laid in bed. I could have said, not this time.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe it's not in the cards for me. I could have made excuses. I could have gave up.
If you would have showed up defeated, you would have been defeated.
Exactly. I didn't. I had a mindset that I was going to finish this out. Even if I made a bad shot, I'm like, next shot's going to be better.
Yeah. Yep.
Next shot's like, I talked myself through this tournament to earn that position. A lot of people could have gave up, and a lot of people would have.
100%.
But it's a mindset. You have to, in order to belong, you must feel you belong.
Yep.
If you're not there, you're not going to do it. And then create a plan, execute it, never give up. Like I said, I could have gave up. I could have said, not this time. I didn't.
Yeah.
So perseverance and just having that mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
That is awesome. I love that story because, you could have, even at the very end, you thought you had done probably not one, but you knew at that time, like, I gave it my all today, and if I lost, it's because I got beat by the better man. And that's something that somebody that is a winner or an achiever can accept, is that if you done your best and you did, and you get defeated, it happens. The next day could have been completely different. It turns out, you showed up to win and you ended up doing it. Like, that's a cool story.
Well, character, I've always said this about character. Character
Rewarding.
is the one thing that nobody can take from you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if you lose it, you've lost everything. Because, that's how I feel on a lot of things. Like, sometimes it is hard. Sometimes you do want to just hang your head and, you get mad at yourself and pout and run away. But sometimes it takes the bigger person to stick your hand out and say, hey, man, like, and that's awesome that, you felt like that. And
Yeah.
it pays off. Like, and that goes along with the mental side of things. Having that mental side to push yourself out of that pouty thing and say, hey, look, I'm going to go shake his hand, is probably part of the, the self strength of, the mental side of the game.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And,
awesome.
your top tier shooters or even people that are successful, how often do you hear them talk about their failures? Like not very often, like a podcast, I'm going to be very open with my failures because I want people to understand it's normal. It's normal to fail. Boy, let me tell you something. Like, I have way more failures than I have more successes in archery. 100%, hands down. You go look at a hunter. One of my good friends that I met through archery. Whenever you walk in his house, he's got this big bull elk, and then he's got a big black bear and all this stuff. And I'm like, my gosh, there's like 500 animals in here, dude. You're an amazing shot. And he's like, no, for each one you see, there's 2 stories
Exactly.
of the ones that got away.
100%.
There's, but he don't talk about that. Your people don't want to talk about failures because, you don't want to just sit there and dwell on a failure. You take that failure,
You learn
you
from
find a way to kick its butt in the next go around. And how can I improve? Like, failure is a great thing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing.
Yes, it is.
If you're willing to fail, you must be
Exactly.
willing to fail, and you got to be willing to grow from those failures.
Exactly.
Yep. And a lot of people don't.
Awesome.
They have a failure and like I said whenever I was on Facebook, poor pitiful me, woe is me.
Yeah.
Delete it, find a way to succeed.
I like how you
tail
said
it.
too, closing your eyes and just imagining, like, that is a
Being
that is a very good point. I like that because, I think meditation, tuning everything out sometimes, because a lot of times, like when I wake up and I go to the gym, that's always my routine. Well, for the longest time, I listen to music to get me pumped up to go to the gym. Anymore, first thing in the morning, I get up, I put my stuff in my car, and I turn the radio off. And like that drive from my house to the gym, that's quiet time. And that's where I do a lot of praying, a lot of just self, thinking. I don't think about what I'm going to do for the day. I just, ask for help and, help me be kind to every person that enters my life today. Help me show love, help me just be a good human being. And I think that really has helped. And I've only been implementing that in the last probably month.
Sure.
But I really do think that's a helpful thing to keep your mind on the right track in the day,
Well, and that peace, because the world is a loud, chaotic mess. So if you can't create your own peace, the world ain't going to create it for you.
Exactly.
You know, and it's not going to give you fortitude. It's not going to give you wisdom or desire. I mean, they'll give you desire, but
I don't know
probably not the healthiest, you know.
I don't know how many times I've woke up, you know, first thing in the morning, you open that phone up, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram.
Mine's
you know,
the stealth cam app.
And you're looking, and
Look
you're,
at trail cams.
and you're looking at what
It is a
everybody else is
disappointment.
doing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, and that's 100% right. And I was actually telling Dustin this today. Today I deactivated my Facebook.
yeah. And that's something that everybody needs to do every once in a while.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
is fasting from.
Yeah, I need a moment of self-reflection. I need to get my mind right. And my thing is I wear my heart on my sleeve. I care way too much about what people think of me.
Yep, same,
and it's
same.
exhausting.
Yeah,
it is
same.
so exhausting.
It'll tear you apart, man. Flat. That's why I told you earlier I'm gonna have a bourbon and whatever, because like you're not gonna please everybody. No. You're just not. But the people that can see you, you know, and like if they tell me, hey, I don't like that you did that, it's probably gonna weigh on me. You know, I'm trying to get rid of that.
Yeah.
So
and that's it. You know, and I wish I had the words to tell us that, you know, it's not going to be this way forever.
Yeah.
But I think it's just so in tune with who I am, and especially trying to be a public speaker or doing something. Like I'm always constantly looking for feedback. I'm looking for those people that, you know, I'm looking for that 1% that is just like, that was trash, dude. Like and I'm looking for it to break me down, and I don't know why. Yeah. It's because I'm a people pleaser, and I want that. Yep. And so I'm going to start taking my own steps to try to focus on the things that are important in your life. You know, obviously, you know, God, family, kids, you know, your wife. Mm-hmm. My loyalty doesn't lie to some dude in New Mexico or Texas or halfway across the country. They don't pay my bills. They have no jurisdiction over my life. You know where my loyalty lies? Within the walls of my home.
Hey, exactly.
I want to be a good father. I want to be a good husband. I want to be a better Christian. Mm-hmm. I'm failing in those things, and I got to figure out that's where my time needs to be. So that's exactly what it is. Today I was looking on Facebook, and I remember I seen something made me mad, and then I see the left versus the right, and I just all the hate and the anger, and it's just like, dude, it's so toxic,
man.
And it's just like it makes me want to jump and be like, yeah, you're wrong, that's not me,
exactly.
And so I'm like,
I don't do it either.
I gotta back away from this.
Yeah.
I gotta get my life back on track. I gotta get my house within, you know, good order.
And that's all that matters in your life.
And that's it.
Like you said, those four walls. And,
yeah.
You know, that's what I always made that comment is like, because I own 10 acres. And that's like, I don't care what's going on in the world out there. I honestly don't. All I care about is going on in that 10 acres of my property. Mm-hmm. You know, like that's what I worry about, because if you start stressing about what the world's doing some crazy stuff. Like, I mean, like just off the wall stuff, and it don't even make sense. So why do I even dwell on that stuff? Like it doesn't even make sense. Like all I do is I pray every day for this country. Yeah. That's what I do. I mean, let God, be with the leaders of our country, be with the people, like, and that's all I can do. Then my hands are out of it, and I'm not worrying about it, because
you know what? That's a good thing too, because obviously you don't want to. It's like you said, if you want to be a millionaire, you surround yourself with millionaires. Exactly. If you want to be a good Christian, you surround yourself with Christians. You surround yourself with what you want to succeed and what you want to do in life.
Yep.
I don't want to be around toxic stuff. I want, and it took today to realize that, like, what the hell am I doing? Yeah. Like, I am creating, and it's, the brain rot or whatever, just the endless scrolling. And it's like, I am creating a very dumb version of what I can be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's coming like I'm making a full circle for my own advice. I'm like, put that crap down. Let's pick something else up, So
I'm listening.
Yeah. It's like, looking at my own notes, like, oh, there you go.
Luckily, I have two Facebook accounts. One's me and one's Rack Attack. Well, Rack Attack is full of things that are great and positive in the hunting world. I'm getting messages and people's likes, and like, I love that part. I switched to that today, and I was just looking at stuff and looking at things about you, because I didn't know much about you. I just knew you were a nice guy and you shot the hell out of a bow, and yeah, but if you stick on what the world is showing you, dadgum, you're going to turn into a rotten tomato real quick.
Exactly. Me and my buddy were talking about that the other day about our Facebook and stuff. It's like so many people post on Facebook like everybody cares. And
yeah,
like, dude,
nobody
like,
cares.
I mean, I don't really care about what you ate for dinner, like this or that. Like, and so I told my buddy, I said, I try to post, like when I post something on Facebook, I try to post something that will help somebody or encourage somebody, like Zig Ziglar, motivational topics, like something that will get into your mind and like, help motivate you, help you be a better person. That's kind of where I want my feed to be. But one of my buddies, old Arden Allison, I saw him. He made one of the best references I ever heard, and he said, "Be a creator, not be a creator, not a consumer."
Yeah.
And I mean that hit me so hard because it's like, dude, like there's value. And Caleb Watson, he was talking about that too. He's like, like we are living in a generation where everybody is wrapped up around social media. So if you get out there, you can basically produce whatever content you want. Mm-hmm. And so like, I want to produce good content. I want to help
because you're going to
people.
gain some kind of following no matter which direction you decide to go.
Exactly. You can be bad or you can be good. But I mean, like I said, the world's got too much bad out there anyways. Why not come in here with a little bit of good, a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of that real stuff that, like everybody struggles every day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the stuff people need to hear nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Like on the whole Christian thing, man. Like I was thinking about that the other day. Like it's that's a hard subject to conquer. Like because we were talking about this before the podcast. Like you don't want to be, like act like you don't ever fail because like you're being dishonest at that point. Yeah. Like, dude, I am the most. Every day, it's like, there'll be times in my day, it's just like, gosh, man, like, what am I doing? Like, why would I even be? And then all of a sudden, like, somebody will, and this is what encourages me, is like somebody come up and text me, say, hey, look, like I'm thinking about going to church or something because I listened to your podcast. Like, that right there is like
if you would have known what I was just thinking, you wouldn't have said that.
You blessed my heart. Like, you don't even know that, like, and like, just little stuff like that. I like putting that good vibe out into the world.
Sure. It's the little stories that get people through. And that,
it is.
Finding ways to be relatable.
Exactly.
So if you can find a way to get yourself relatable to, like a preacher, I want a good preacher that's going to be up there and say, look, this week my finances were out of control. I didn't do this. And I may have peed on the toilet seat. I don't know. It's like the highest sin in our house.
Guilty
right?
as charged.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, preach. Like, I'm with you, man. Like, talk to me, Goose.
Yeah.
Like, I'm listening. How can we get better? So it's those little stories that get us through, boys. Sorry to make fun of it, but
no, dude, we're lighthearted. Like it's, I joke. I got a cruel mind anyway. Being in the service, like you just develop a sick sense of humor, and like I had to have humor. You know, like else you sit around and cry over the world. Why not laugh about it?
Yeah,
you know,
peeing on the seat's only PG though.
It's pretty clean.
I think sometimes people forget that we are humans.
I
mean, like even if you are a Christian, you're still a human.
Still a human.
Like,
we sin every day. Like we're following a perfect God, thankfully, because we're imperfect people. It doesn't mean you just go deliberately do whatever you want, but we are human. We're animals. Look at animals in the world. Like they're ruthless.
Exactly.
We're pretty damn ruthless ourselves.
And every one of Jesus' disciples was either a fisherman, a carpenter. Jesus was a carpenter. But they were outdoorsmen.
Blue collar outdoorsmen. They probably shot bows too.
I mean, Peter cussed, denied Jesus 3 times. I mean, but he was one of God's closest. So I mean, that's the type of people that I think God liked to hang out with, and he loved,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, relatable, and they all the story, and we all have our own little story of triumphs and what's the other damn word?
Triumphs and failures.
Failures. I was thinking another like a fancy word. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
If I say it loud enough, you'll believe it, right?
Every time. No matter what.
Write it down. Put
if
it
you're confident,
just flash it across.
Put it on a piece of paper. But going back to that's something that we have talked about, and what Caleb and everybody that's successful we talked about has said, write it down on paper.
Yes.
Putting pen to paper puts validation to the life or whatever you're thinking.
Sure.
And it kind of like it overcomes your thoughts. You put it here and you're like, I'm going to create a podcast and for my living, whatever. And then I go in my head, I'm like, well, I can't do that. I got to pay for bills, and this don't make me any money. Well, then that's out the window. But once I look at this, I'm like, well, how can I get to maybe doing something where it substitutes my my monthly bill on my editing software? That's $30 a month. That's pretty attainable. Like if you don't write that down, to me, I'm always just going to be thinking of something else unless I'm only doing the podcast. And once that's gone, it's out of the way, out the door, out the window. Right. But writing that down is going to be a constant reminder that, hey, there is something greater and I can do this, and
I feel like I could write a book because I have so many pages of just trash stuff in archery. Like just little things that I've picked up over the time. But as I'm sitting there, I was looking at it probably a couple months ago. I'm like, I have wrote a lot of stuff, just stuff. If somebody were to look at that, they'd be like, I don't know where his mind went.
Nonsense to some people.
But the thing is like, and that's another thing that I'll preach to people is like, create a goal, write it down. And then the thing about like, if you want to be successful or whatever you want to be successful in, whether it be getting your own podcast or whether it be making Team USA or anything else. So specifically for me, I wanted to make Team USA. It was like one of my hardest things that I ever wanted in my life, So what I did was I wrote it down, Team USA. And then on the other hand, I had to write down stuff that was going to get me Team USA.
Yeah.
So mostly sacrifices. Okay, so you got to name your price and determine if it's worth it. That's another point that I always give in my speeches.
That's a good one.
You have to name your price, determine if it's worth it. So I wanted Team USA. These are the sacrifices I have to make. Time away from the family, registration fees, traveling time, just time in general. All these things I had to say, I have to sacrifice this to not even get this, but possibly get this. Yeah. So then I have to weigh the two.
Not a guarantee.
Yeah, is this worth this? Is worth this, like losing this worth gaining this possibly? And it's like at that time, so as I'm writing all this down, then what I did was I remember I was at a yard sale and I ended up seeing like a little doodle board or whatever, like the dry erase board.
CR's Bullseye Bobby.
I was going to ask you about him.
That's for you.
Bit.
Yeah.
Bullseye
Bobby. I know your name's not Bobby. It might be your middle name or something, but sorry to interrupt a good story. Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. But,
Ricky Bobby. Yeah. You ain't first, you're last.
I'm coming for you. But no, it's like, so what I did was I found that and I paid like $2 or $3 and I still use it. It's called my yearly goal board. So what I did for like making Team USA is I came up with like this plan that I was going to go to every big shoot and it was going to like tell me, for one, how I stacked up against these people, where I was finishing. It was going to like allow me to like pick their brains and then see where I was failing, where I can like get better at and succeed. But on this goal board, I wrote 10 very tough goals. And I didn't want them to be easy goals. Yeah. I wanted them to be tough goals because your top tier shooters are doing top tier things. Top podcasters doing top podcast things.
Yeah,
so top. Whatever. Top, like same with like realty, selling top houses.
Yeah. Top
if you're a hat salesman,
I stole it.
Dang it. So anyways, but I wrote these really hard goals because I wanted it to be tough.
Yeah.
And so, but as I'm going through it, as I'm seeing it every day, that's going to hold me accountable that I need to do this, because if I don't, then I feel like a failure.
Yep.
And I'm not trying to be a failure. Mm-hmm. So, that's what I would do. And I did that for years and years. And still yet to this day, I'm still putting 10 goals on there.
Yeah.
They may not be as tough. They may not even be all about archery, but I'm still putting those on there. And I'm like, and I'm not going to succeed at every one of them, but at least I get to see it every day. And it's a reminder that, okay, I need to do this. Or maybe I need to put more forth the effort, but constantly writing, man, I'm telling you, I'm a firm believer in it. And same thing with like a phone. If you don't want to write, I have a notepad on my phone. Something might happen. I'll type it out really fast, or just small things. But 100% put it to paper and read it.
Yeah. That's something I definitely need to implement for sure. It just, you hear it over and over again, and it's easy to get motivated at the time. But like, again, I don't write it down, and then it just goes out the window.
Yeah.
And we're living in a world of where everything's at our fingertips, and you want it now. Mm-hmm. And like you putting the goals up, that's kind of classic, really. People that would look back 10, 20 years in their life and be like, that's what I want to do. And they would try to achieve it back when we didn't have the technology and distractions. Now, anything more than like a week is like, that's way too long to worry about. Like, truthfully, it's sickening, but it is. I do it. I'm at an instant gratification. It's what people go for. That's why we have the TikTok and everything, because it's a 3-second gratification. You no longer have to watch a documentary. I'm a longevity guy. I wanted to sit down and read or listen to the whole story and just get the whole vivid picture, not that one little click that is probably fake. Mm-hmm. There's living a fake life, sending you fake information and inspiring millions of people over that something that's not even legit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not that old, but I'm just old enough to realize that, but not old enough to where it doesn't actually bother me, and it doesn't.
Sure.
It has something in my life that I want to get rid of. I want to get rid of that instant gratification type things and go for more of that longevity, humbleness, and just more succeeding.
You get so much more out of it. Like,
yeah, it's rewarding.
It's so rewarding, and it's the little rewards along the way that it's like, oh, that's why I did that.
You start seeing them. You're not blind
exactly
to
right.
it.
Like,
I mean, it's like losing weight. With your losing weight journey, you're like, oh, okay, this is.
Dude, did you see his transformation?
Yes, I did.
Oh my God!
That's why I told you I've been fasting.
Like, yeah, dude. When I showed up to
lose it, I'm like,
when I came up to Deer Ridge Deer Camp one fall, and I drove by him. He was out by the road, and he's like waving at me. I didn't know who he was. I drove the circle, and I came back through. I'm like, well, that's his truck. And then here I see Logan come out. You know, Logan's our big teddy bear. He don't give a shit about losing all the weight. You know, he's happy where he is, and that's fine. But Swilly was bigger at the time, and I hadn't seen him for a minute, and he'd lost all this weight. I'm like, where'd you go? He's like, check these out. And he had abs, and I'm like, there must be steroids and macaroni. But for real, it was an amazing transformation. And it wasn't anything cheating. It was hard work and freaking determination, you know. And and you have the same way when you put your mind to it. Like, you're going to do good things, and you're going to go after it, and you're pretty good about not letting distractions get in the way.
Well, and some people, you know, they ask me, how do you do that? Like, how do you eat right? How do you do this? How do you do that? It's like, well, that's my goal. That's my mindset. Like, and I hate it when people say, well, you're going to die anyways. Might as well live it up. And it's like, is that really your biggest argument in life? Is you're going to die? So you might as well just like let your life just go however it will and just fall. And it's like, no, I want more out of my life. I want to live. I want to be determined. I want to set goals. I want to set priorities. I want to conquer. I want, you know, it's just like, that's the biggest thing is sometimes I think when people, the difference between knowledge and wisdom is knowledge is knowing what to do. Wisdom is doing it, you know? And so many people get caught up right there because, I mean, so many people can tell you exactly how to lose weight. But when it comes to not eating that burger, not eating those French fries, that's where they can't do it. And like, you want to talk about,
I struggle with it.
You want to talk about being hard. Like a lot of people are like, well, I'm married, so my wife cooks. You know what it took for me to have to do that?
Cooking.
I eat something different. If you know, like if she cooked something I didn't want to eat that night, I eat something. I learned how to cook.
Okay, now there's another story there too, because how do you get over that? And I told not make it be like, well, you think my cooking is terrible.
No, and I had to explain
because that's what I get whenever
I had to sit my wife down. I said, look, babe, I love your cooking. I love that you're doing this.
But see where it got me?
But look,
fat and happy.
This is my goal, and here is my determination.
Yeah.
I need this many protein, this many carbs, this stuff. I'm sticking to this for a little while, you know, like, and it took that, and she understood.
Yeah.
And now she sees the results, and it's like, you know, like, so now she understands. It's like, but you have to you have to go out of your mind sometimes and just like, if I want this, I see it over here, but there's going to be a valley I got to cross before that.
Yeah.
And you've got to be willing to get to this step, to this step, to this step, and to climb up that.
It's crazy to me how fast you would become successful at, like you said, 9 months in the martial arts, and we're obviously good. You know, then you said you went and got your nursing degree. Did you get that, or you went into doing nursing?
Yeah, I'm still a nurse. Yeah, I gave the.
So that's not easy either.
No,
because I saw where you had stopped shooting in 2025, right?
Yeah,
some family stuff.
Well, about 2023. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and but no, that's still working as a nurse at the VA.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Were you in the service?
No, I was not.
You weren't?
No, I wanted to be a paratrooper, but legally blind, and they shut that crap down. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing right there.
Top
archery.
Dude,
it's my left eye.
You know what? I'm gonna try to write some stuff down that's positive in my life, but I have realistic goals here. So you're blind and you shot.
I'm legally blind in my left eye. Yeah, check these out. Hold on, I'll give them to you guys. Look, see how the lens is sticking out on that one over there? Yeah. It's like sticking out so far on each side. Yeah. So I was stabbed in the eye with a fork when I was a kid.
Lefty. No kidding.
No, so
I stabbed in the eye with a fork. You got lost and froze to death in a creek.
Holy cow!
Dude, I'm blind.
You probably broke a lot of bones skateboarding.
Yeah,
like maybe we should have took up crochet. We mentioned that earlier.
So the beauty about this is like whenever I'm shooting, like if I'm got a big tournament or something,
you don't have to worry about covering your eye.
I just take the glasses off, and it's like right eye hawk. You know,
it's like how did you not wear a patch?
All the left eye, I don't see jack crap out of it, and I always get the question.
So what do you see like right here with your left eye?
Nothing.
Blur.
Just a blur.
Yeah, you're blind.
You can see light and stuff.
Oh yeah, I can see that, but everything's just like super low.
That's crazy. Before I went in the Marine Corps, I learned. Do you know a guy behind Tim Nelson. He's from Kennett. He shoots for PSE.
Is he related to Bobby Nelson?
I don't think so. Do I know a Bobby Nelson? I don't know. Bullseye Bob. Oh, we did. Hey, I think I got a button here. There it is. There you go. Well, anyway, he's a really good shot. One of the best compound shots I know that actually isn't professional, but he's shot and been on the Reading stage and stuff. But he taught me how to shoot with both eyes open. And man, even for hunting and target, the clarity was amazing. Like, holy cow, I didn't know I could do that. Well, and I could shoot longer because I wasn't no longer blurring my vision. Well, after the Marine Corps, I never could shoot through scope with both eyes open. And I got to that habit, and now I have a really hard time. I'll start with both eyes, and I'm blurry. And I'm also getting older, so my eyesight isn't quite as good. And I'll kind of just do a Michael Squints Calidorus, and just halfway squint. But if I don't find myself going through, like you were talking about, my shot repetition, I will lose that. Next thing I know, my eyes are closed and open them up. And I'm like, oh, crap, it's blurry. And now I've lost like 3 good shots after that because I can't see. So I guess a long story short, I was going to say it's a good thing that you're blind in one eye. I don't know where I was getting with that, but the shooting both eyes open, I try to teach people if they can, but I've lost how to do that, and I can see decent out of both my eyes.
And they try to teach you that, but and especially for traditional archery, it's a different way of aiming. So what we're doing is like
I was going to ask you about that too.
I actually brought an arrow for you guys to stick around.
I've got a hunt.
But anyways, what I'm doing, if you got an arrow, I'll kind of walk you through.
Grab me one right there, Swill. I don't know where my boots in there. I got like 1,000 arrows. Last night, my wife's like, "What do you mean you bought new arrows? Don't you have a whole boot full?" I'm like, "I went to an 80-pound bow. This is a different spine." She's like, "Well, what do you mean?"
All right, so and
if you need a bow, I have a
traditional archery. Right, I don't want to shoot your
no, it ain't got a string on it.
But so like traditional archery, the aiming is no different than say like a compound, and a lot of people don't. They'll understand it. It's called the gap method. So what I'm doing is I'm using the tip of my arrow to aim. So like at 10 meters or 10 yards, I'm aiming like 13, 14 inches under what I want to hit. So like if I want to hit like the middle of in between this rack, like that right there, I'm going to say for 14 inches, men's inches is about right here. Women's inches is about down here.
How big is 6? Show me where 6 is for a friend. Oh, that's about right. Never mind. Go back to your archery stuff.
Hey, go back to that last measurement. I like that one.
So anyway, 14 inches, like I'm probably going to be putting the tip of my arrow right under the bottom of what here. So as I'm reaching my draw and my anchor, it's not like a let off, but I actually engage the back of my shoulders. So like if you're out of alignment, you like this right here, and somebody comes up and they try to push your elbows together, it'll go out. But if you're locked in like this and somebody tries to push you in, it's not.
Yeah, you're coming outward.
Exactly. So you're more stable. So once I get stable, then I'll use the tip of my arrow to kind of aim where I want to hit. So at 10 yards, if I'm wanting to hit right there, I'll put the tip of my arrow right down here. I don't focus on up here.
Right.
I'm focusing right down here.
Were you shooting known yardage, I guess?
No, all unknown. So that's a whole different story.
I was going to say, so first you had to figure out your yardage, and
right.
Tim had told me how to do that too, and I used to be decent at it. Now I've lost it. I don't use it anymore. I get the rangefinders. But
that's like 10 yards, and then like 27 yards is point on. So then I'll just put the point right on it. At 30 meters or 30 yards, I'm putting it like 6 inches above what I want to hit. So if I want to hit here, like I'm putting it right here. So on a deer in the woods, if I'm wanting to make a 30-yard shot with my longbow, I'm putting it right on the tip of their back. Or if everything is good and they're not startled or anything else and making for drop, But so that's kind of what I'm doing for an aiming method. But with
so you're going off knowledge and instinct at the same time.
Sure. So and that's another thing. Like with shooting, like let's just say deer shooting or hunting, whatever, or even rifle shooting. If you're second guessing yourself, like whenever I'm finding a yardage, I don't second guess, even regardless if it's right or wrong. Like if I'm looking at something, I'm like, that's 22 yards. Is it 23? The more I think about it, that might be 24.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Like because if you're like, man, it's between 22 and 24, you're kind of second guessing. Find your yardage, regardless if it's right or wrong. Mm-hmm. That's 23 yards in my mind. 100% 23 yards.
We start second guessing, more things go wrong. It's compounding.
Yep. And then just put the best shot you can out. Believe in yourself and just make the best shot possible.
You say that cracked me up because back in the day, man, I took a rope And I remember I had 50 yards worth, and every 10 yards I'd tie a bandana on it.
Yeah.
And I'd walk around my yard or through the woods, wherever I was at, and I'd turn around periodically and look back, and I'd just 10, 20, 30, I'd mentally look where all that is. And then when I'd be shooting in my chutes, that's what I would be looking at. I would be imagining that rope that I made, 10, 20, 30. And I don't know how many times I'd look at something, like you said, and I'd be like, 23 and a half. Then my buddy behind me would be like, boy, that looks like 26.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden that would come like,
Yeah.
okay. And then all of a sudden I'd be like, and my buddy was a good shot. So I was like, I'm going to take his word,
Yeah.
But he would be saying that stuff, I think. And I learned a lot from him doing that because he was doing that to help me, because he knew it would throw me off. So I was
going to ask you that too.
He'd say
when you
it's
got to the
26
stage.
yards, I think. And so I'd shoot it at 26 yards, and I'd go over the back of it.
Yeah.
And I'd be
Yeah.
like,
So then you're
what?
wondering
yeah.
I'm like, why didn't I just listen to myself? Like,
Right.
I knew that,
if it was your judgment or if it was something else, if you flinched or you punch a trigger, like that point, it takes more out of you than just shooting and getting your yardage wrong. It's like my hand's shaky because I'm like, I don't know. And you hang up an extra 2 seconds on your release trying to get a shot.
You know what always cracked me up too is like in shoots. Like
Plumbers?
I never made it near as far as you, but like when I'd shoot, I'd judge something 23 and a half yards. So I'd dial my sight into 23 and just like maybe one little click over, and I'd shoot, and I'd smoke it right where perfect. My other buddy would shoot, bam, smack my arrow right there. I'm like, what'd you shoot that for? 26.
And then
What?
you know what?
Well,
That's
that-
exactly true. So it goes back to men's inches, men's inches versus women's inches.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
I know we like to joke about that, but seriously, that's on the range. Somebody, if they said that, the way that we always get through that is like, your 26 yards may not be my 26 yards, and it's truth.
Yeah.
Like I
Kinda
might
like
be
a
used to shooting
10-pound
something
bass.
different.
It was 27 inches. One was 21. It's still a 10-pound bass.
It's still 10 pound
Fishermen,
yeah.
My 8 inches might not be yours.
guarantee it.
Now my wife wouldn't say that.
Oh Lord.
No, that is
Oh, boy.
funny.
Always got to go back to that.
But even like with rangefinders, my rangefinder reads different than everybody else's.
Exactly.
I'm shooting it for, especially out in longer distances, man. 5 yards at 50 plus yards is a big difference. That's like a foot, depending on what bow you're shooting, and any arrow weight and the spine and all that stuff. And I want to get into that to you as well, like what you shot for like competition and in your hunting setup too. But we can keep going on that yardage stuff because it's pretty important to know that, because not all the time you're going to have a rangefinder on you. Or if you want to compete, to me, the unknown is more fun.
Yeah.
Because it creates more than just, you can be a really good shot, you can be a really good yardage judger, but you put them two combined, it kind of evens the playing field.
It really does. Yeah, it does.
It's very competitive, and it's a lot of shit talking, but usually it's good. But like when you get on the line and somebody says, well, that looks an awful lot like this. You sure you're right? Mm-hmm. Well, me being like, I don't know. I thought I was. Yeah. And I go off of what they say and like, yeah, you did that on purpose.
Yeah, especially being for like first timers, for me for the first time, and when going to shoot in tourney Italy, I was like, they'll do little things to try to mess with you.
I guarantee it.
Very small things, but anything to get an edge.
Yeah.
Now the longbow division wasn't as much because they're a bunch of hicks and drunks, and they're just kind of fun. They're just there to have fun,
My kind of people.
to an extent, But whenever you start getting into compound and the very high tech stuff, dude, they'll mess with you any way they
like
can.
you being the
like,
nice
hey,
guy.
let me see your arrow. Like, man, that's a really nice arrow. And they might twist your nock. Ever so slightly. I'm like, man, that's great. I hope you do well, or just small
and
stuff,
that's why
stuff like that.
I should Sharpie more of my arrow to the silver so I know that it's not moved on me, even if it does it on accident.
Yeah. So, there's little things, but for the most part, I've never had a bad experience with World Archery, or anywhere that I've been, Argentina, Mexico, Italy.
Yeah.
Coolest dudes on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, we're all hanging out, and then we're sharing knowledge, and it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. So the longbow division, I'll say, was pretty radical.
That's awesome.
Do you listen to Podium Archer at all? MFJJ up in Spokane, Washington. He's not really much in the longbow stuff, but he's trying to get into it. But he's super, super knowledgeable, and one of like the biggest shots besides Lancaster on the archery stuff. But one of his guys in the shop's like a young 20-year-old kid that is competing with like Paige Pierce and them on some of these events.
Yeah.
And so he was talking about, like, he was nervous and first time going to some of these big shoots. He's like, but they were all super, he said they wanted me to succeed. You know, kind of like the same way you're talking about. They reached a level, I think it's of like, they went past the humility of having to go through those trials and tribulations and be like, you know what, like we weeded out the assholes in it, you know, and kind of like the good people will succeed. You're still going to have some guys that are rough, but most of them I'd say probably do want to see you succeed, you know. And it's cool to have that when guys that you see have made it are still humble enough to take somebody that's still gaining and could possibly overcome them. It's almost like they want to see that, but it's also going to make them better.
Exactly.
You want to, when you reach the top, you want to find yourself with somebody else better in the room.
Exactly,
So,
yeah.
I mean, why not have somebody like, or at least beat you or lose to you at your best?
Right.
You know, that's respectful.
And that's the bottom line. And in that book that I mentioned with Winning in Mind.
Yeah, I'm not gonna read it. I'm gonna put it on audio.
You can read it in like just a couple hours. It's a very short book.
Yeah.
It's very small, but it's to the point, and it's like, yeah, have a pen and paper whenever you read it. But in there, it talks about people that are uplifting and helping people like that, and it's like they don't realize how much they're helping themselves in that situation, because one, they're not creating negativity in that room. They're not having a vibe that's like, I'm going to beat you, but I'm going to beat you at your worst.
Yeah.
Real competitors, true competitors, they want to win at their best.
Absolutely. Fighting and everything.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what you don't want a win just for being the only one that showed up. You want to be the winner because you're the baddest dude in the freaking room. You know, like that's what they're wanting. So whenever you're building uplifting characters and you're building somebody up like you're top dog, I'm right there with you. Like it's just, I mean, it's, once again, it's a mindset, but that's what they're doing. I mean, they're creating something that is going to be a positive image, not on them, just on the person that they're shooting against, but for themselves.
Exactly.
I mean, it gets really into it, and that's so. Whenever we were shooting the longbows for Team USA and or trying to make the team, we were cutting up, we're having fun. If somebody made a good shot, you're like, hell yeah, good shot, Shiloh, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, or good shot, Tim, or whoever was shooting, Tom Johnson, or whoever was there in my group, you know, we were so encouraging to one another. And out of all the groups, we were the ones that outshot everybody that day.
Yeah. You're having fun,
we weren't
man.
even top three.
I mean, if you're having fun, you're doing good.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the stress levels are lower.
That's where that law of attraction comes
Yeah.
in. You put off a positive attitude.
100%,
dude. That's
100%.
true. I like
yeah,
that.
Yeah, you have to be in the moments, you know, and stuff like that. Whatever you surround yourself with is what you're going to do. Like, you know, I've had very bad, you know, situations whenever I'm shooting for Team USA, you know, stuff that, you know, really brought me down and I wasn't able to compete at my highest, and I didn't.
Yeah.
You know,
How could you? You know,
Yeah.
I couldn't, like, I couldn't imagine. Like, seriously, it gives me the bad kind of chills. You know, and you still overcome it. You know, it's just an amazing story.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna try, like, whatever I read today. I don't know if it's like what was it?
we can get into it.
And we don't have to either. You know,
I'm very open about it.
Okay.
And I think it's actually good.
Yeah, no, well, it's good to know because, like, you're such, I mean, you just seem like a genuinely, like, a happy-go-lucky person. Like, you seem like our kind of people, but you have went through some shit that's, like, could have just stopped your whole career and focused on something completely different and never maybe reached that happiness again and probably never overcame it, but learned to cope with it healthily, you know, and that's what people need to do, because look at, like, where we're from. I mean, you're from small town USA, like Booger Bottom, Georgia, from Michael Waddell. You're from Coon Island,
Missouri.
You know, it's like you come from nowhere, and you've done something that is like astronomical, but you didn't just do it because, oh, must be nice, and you were granted it. Like, you had to go through some stuff that really put you to the test through your faith and through just being a good human and in your archery. And, like, I am intrigued to hear about that. You know, if you're willing to talk about
absolutely. You know, and that's the thing is, like, people, before I get to that story, is people that must be nice stuff and everything else. And I think I was telling, you know, Swilly about this, is nobody sees the grind. Nobody sees what you're putting yourself through. Nobody understands what you're putting yourself through. You do.
Yep.
You know, like, I see him and I'm like, dude, you're freaking jacked. Where the hell did this come from? You know, like, must be nice. As I'm eating a cheeseburger and, you know, got a pizza waiting on me on home, and, you know, like, must be nice. I didn't see what he put into it. I didn't see him waking up at 4:00, being at the gym by 4:30. I didn't see him putting in, you know, a protein shake. Nobody sees that. You know, so it's like that, you know, what you're doing behind closed doors, you know, that's for you. The whole world doesn't have to see it because they wouldn't understand what you're wanting
and you
to
don't
put
have to
into
explain yourself.
Exactly.
No, you don't. Because eventually your actions are gonna explain enough.
Exactly.
Whether it is enough or not enough, it's enough.
Somebody says must be nice. Damn right it is.
It is nice.
Damn right it is.
Yeah.
So no, whenever I made Team USA, it was super awesome. You know, I got like my wife's minivan rocking back to, you know, left and right on the way home.
Carry a lot of cargo
from Kentucky, dude. I would tell you, I done cried. I was singing Van Halen. Probably caused a couple wrecks on the way home. I don't know. I belong in a straitjacket. It was like the ultimate high.
Mr. Mayhem.
Dude, I'm telling you. Could have been prevented. You know? If I didn't make Team USA. No, I'm teasing. But anyway, so I get home and it's like, there was a point that I didn't know what I was supposed to do after that because I'm always a goal setter. After I made that goal, it's like I didn't have a goal. My goal was to make Team USA. So it's like there was like a day or two of like, well, what do I need to do? Well, how about go show the world what you can do?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, yeah, duh. You know, let's
prove you can come from nowhere.
Let's go. You know, so I'm going to Italy and we got like all these different countries, you know, like Russia and Germany and Italy and Mexico and Argentina, all these places throughout the world. And they got top 3 for each country that's there. Yeah. And it's like, dude, it's pretty intense, right? You know, so I made all new goals to get myself prepped for it. And I remember day 1, I go in and I shoot and I'm like, I come off the course and I'm like, man, I didn't do so hot. And I remember a guy from Estonia, he says, Josh, what is wrong? And I'm like, man, Yako, I didn't shoot as good as I thought I should. And he's like, we go up and we're looking, there's a rolling board. And he's like, you're in 10th place. Suck it up. And I'm like, oh, yeah, dude. Like,
I can work with that.
This worked for me before. Quit, woo, poor pitiful me, you know? So it's like, yeah, let's freaking
You're
go.
You're already on Facebook trying to make a post.
You know? Yeah, it's like, yeah, I did so good. You guys are losers. You know, I'm like, no, not really. But yeah, no, I felt really good and confident. Well, my wife went with me at the time, and so did my sister. My sister's a nurse practitioner, and my wife, she's got her doctorate in physical therapy, and we just went to go visit Rome, and
that'd be cool.
Just, dude, I'm telling you, I cried like a grown, like a 230-pound baby out there, like the history with the Colosseum, and seeing where all the Christians
Gladiators
were just like murdered, and like you got to walk through, and I'll share this one little piece of information, but Emperor Nero, like his garden, like what it was, and they still had it. The garden is in immaculate shape,
really.
But during this garden, you would see little spots, just little spots, and there was like little teepees. But those teepees, what he would do is he would have Christians strapped to it, and he would cover them in oil, and he would light them on fire, and then he would just stroll through this garden with Christians on fire. So as you hear these stories and you see all this, it's just like, dude, you can't, like, you're walking where somebody walked before. You're just to feel that. So it was very powerful to be there. If you get the chance to go.
Yeah,
absolutely wonderful. But so my wife's with me, and I remember she's pregnant at the time, and I get back home from day 1, and she's just kind of sitting on the side, and I'm like, hey, you all right? Like, she just something didn't look right, and she's like, I think so. And I'm like, well, you think so? Or like, she's like, yeah, just something's not right, but I'm okay. I'm like, you sure? Yeah. So I ended up getting us some pizzas and came back, and we hung out. She goes to sleep, I go to sleep, and wake up the next morning. Hey, you doing all right? Yeah, I'm fine. Go shoot. All right, I'm going to go shoot. So I go shoot. Day 2, so much better. I freaking tore it up. So did everybody else. I dropped from like 10th place
Everybody's
to 16th.
at their best.
Dude, everybody's nerves are gone at this point.
Yeah.
And they shot lights out. I thought I did. But I was in top 16 in the world. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome, because the top 16 make it to the shoot-offs. And then they just kind of head-to-head until you have 4 left. And then those 4 go to the finals.
Yeah.
So I was on track to meet my goal. I was super happy after day 2. Well, we're shooting in the mountains of Italy. There is no service at all. Like, you're way above the clouds. And as I'm coming down, my phone's going off. Ding, 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 ding. And I'm like, probably people want to know how I'm doing. I had like 500 messages from my sister. Call me. I need you. Hey, where you at? Call me. And I'm just like, okay. So I call her and I'm like, hey, what's up? She's like, whenever you get here, just throw your stuff, your bow and everything else, throw it in your room. I have a taxi waiting for us downstairs. She's like, Cassie was rushed to the hospital. Cassie is my wife. Said she was rushed to the hospital. She's having some complications. It's like, okay, all right. I figured this, I could tell something was wrong. So I remember we get there, get in a taxi, rush to the hospital. And this has happened a while back. I'm just getting the messages. And I remember getting to this hospital, and there's like 4 little Italian guards, and they're like police guards and stuff. And I'm trying to get in. They're like putting their hands on me, like, no. And I'm like, I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to be in the gulag of freaking Italy. Let me in. And then finally somebody came out with like a translator and was like, it turns out I had to have what was called a green card because it was like post-COVID. And what it is you go to a pharmacy, they swab if you're from not that area, from like out of the country or out of the state or whatever. They swab your nose. You got to wait. And if it comes back negative, they give you a green card. That gives you a pass to get into like hospitals, hotels, different stuff that requires the green card. So, okay, where's that? It's 1.5 miles down the road. So I'm like in flip-flops, and I run this 1.5 miles away. And I remember how they swabbed my nose. My sister's hot on my trail. She's with me, and I'm just sitting there pacing back and forth, waiting to get my green card. And she tells me, she says, Josh, I'm sorry. I just got the message, Cassie just had a miscarriage. And dude, I'm like, I still get chills and everything thinking about it. I'm better with it now. I am. But it's like, it was so tough because you're in a foreign country. You're away from your wife. You're in like one of the worst moments of your life, and you're not with your spouse during that time. Yeah. Nobody speaks the language. How do you translate that? Like, dude, I remember sitting in the streets of Italy. I'm just in an alleyway, and I'm just bawling my eyes out, man. And, finally get myself back together, and, I ended up getting back to the hospital, and they still won't let me see her. They let me in, but won't let me go see her. And I remember they push her out, and like, all right, here you go. And I'm just like, I'm looking at my wife in a wheelchair across the room, and I'm just like, you're just lost. Mm-hmm. I remember going up to her, and I'm like, hey, no problem. We're gonna get back home. I'm gonna get us a flight right now. I'm gonna get us a flight. We're gonna get you back home. We're gonna get you checked out. We'll be able to move on from this. We're gonna. We'll be all right. And I remember her, dude, she's a tough old broad. She looked at me, she's like hell. And I'm like, what? She's like, you're going to shoot. And I'm like, baby, look at me. Like, I'm the one bawling my eyes out. I'm not okay.
The last thing I think about shooting.
I'm like, I'm not going to shoot. She's like, you didn't put all this hard work and effort into this just to give up. She's like, there's nothing we can do. I'm fine. You're going to shoot. And I'm like, against my better judgment, dude, I did. And I still got a picture, and I like showing it in my speech because it's me. I'm in a cow pasture. There's lightning storms going on, and they're still making a shoot in it. There's like 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and it's just like I'm drenched. I am soaked to the bone, and I'm just like looking down, and somebody snapped a picture, and they put it in gray and white for me. And I remember going up. I ended up on my bow. I put a cross on it. And then I always like every day of competition and a big competition, I'll write something down. Day one was with the cross. The second day was, memento mori, just remember you die, live in that moment. And then I remember on that third day after I, just a few hours ago, had that miscarriage with, the wife had the miscarriage. I wrote 1 Thessalonians 5:18, and that's give thanks in all circumstances for this is God's will for you through Christ Jesus. In all circumstances, give thanks.
Absolutely.
And I'm just like, thank you for the opportunity. It's so hard, man. And I'm just trying to find ways to overcome it. And I go up to my shoot, and I ended up losing the very first round. I was not a good representative for Team USA at that moment, dude. I get back in, and I'm like, I made it very, very vocal that I did not want to be there. I was not okay. I was in the back. I'm chunking shit across the room. I'm pissed because I felt like not only did I let my family back home down, let myself down, I just let my wife down. I mean, I didn't, but in my mind, as a man, you want to. Yeah, dude, you just want people to be proud of you. Mm-hmm. And in that moment, I was not okay.
Even if you would have won, you still probably would have felt somewhat that way,
you know? Dude, I'm telling you.
Selfish.
So, so I just remember getting back home, dude. I opened the closet door, dude. I just chunked all my stuff downstairs. I was like, I don't ever care to see another bow as long as I live. Yeah. Like, there was just that failure. Like, I had never felt like such a failure in my entire life. And I just didn't care for it, and like a year and a half goes by, I didn't shoot a single bow, didn't do anything archery, didn't care to. And I remember that they get a call, and it's a girl that I shot in Italy with for Team USA, and she's like, hey, have you seen the news about the Pan American Field Championships? And I'm like, no. And she's like, well, they're allowing longbow to shoot it. They haven't let the longbow shoot it since like 1970s. She's like, it's really fast, really quick. There's not a trials because it's coming up so fast. So they're asking the current Team USA members if they want to go. And you know what? There was always like that little voice in my head saying, you didn't give everything you had in Italy. You didn't leave everything on the line. You gave up. Mm-hmm. That's the way, like, there was that voice for a year and a half. And I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. What the hell is field? I never shot field a day in my life. I didn't know anything about it. And you're shooting like 45 yards away.
So that's the long meter, big circle target?
Yeah, big circles or small target. Like,
what I understand to be archery and the Olympic style.
Yeah. And that's what I was shooting. Okay. So at like 10 meters, 10, 11 yards away, I'm shooting something about the size of like a pencil tip. Like that's what we're trying to aim at. And then the rings get a little bit bigger. And then the farther you get, the bigger the target gets. So at like half a football field away, I'm trying to hit like a cantaloupe, like a very small cantaloupe. So, and I did really well. But anyways, I was just telling myself like, this is a chance to shut that voice up.
Yeah.
Like, cause that's just me. Like I want to be the best version of myself. If I feel like I didn't give it all, I didn't. Yep. That's the number one thing in my house. If you ask my kid, if you're doing a spelling test or playing basketball or whatever, say, what are you going to do today? His answer, all my kids' answers, same thing. Give it everything I got. Yeah. Everything I got.
That's good.
That's a motto in our house. And I didn't give it everything I had. So this was my chance to do just that. So I'm learning everything I can about field archery in this short amount of time. I'm making notes. I'm making new sticky notes. I made flashcards on how to judge these targets and where my gap needs to be and how to shoot for an elevation up and down. I have like probably 55 flashcards just on judging. Had over like 70 for how to shoot these and where my gap needs to be. So I'm just studying these. A lot of people don't think about that.
Yeah.
But there was like a lot of stuff that I did. And I remember getting to Argentina day one. It's myself and Shiloh Butts. He just won bronze in Italy. He was the number 1 overall dude. Just had a bad day, got the nerves. So that's who I'm shooting with. We get out day one. He's in first. I'm in third. Like unheard of. We just lit it up. Second day, I jump up to second place. He's still in first. We get an automatic bye to the finals. Or the semifinals.
Yeah.
So I remember getting there, dude, and I'm like, I'm pumped, no nerves. And I remember we get out to where the semifinals are, and you just start seeing the cameras and everything else. And dude, it's like, oh, this is getting real. I've never felt this before, And I start shaking uncontrollably. My first shot, boom. I flipped it. Like I just olayed like a bull was coming at me. And I missed that target. Missed it completely. And I'm shooting against a guy from Argentina that just beat me in Italy. And I'm just like, that's all right. Next one will be better, trying to get myself through it. And then I ended up shooting and I get to that final target. And I'm like, man, if I just hit right in the middle of that, we go into a shoot off. And I'm like, just keep pulling. I'm doing Joel Turner. I'm like, pull. And I'm getting really loud in my voice. And dude, I overpulled. And that arrow went bloop right over the target. Damn. And I had just lost. I'm just like, dude, I remember like I was so pissed. Like I'm like, because I wanted to leave everything on the line, and like I still got a chance for bronze, but I'm like I wanted gold so bad. Yeah. Like that was going to shut that voice was going to get shut up. Like I remember I'm so pissed. I went, I left the whole team. I just march off the course and I go find the biggest tree I can. I just started crying because I felt like a failure again. Like all this bad, vibes and just everything, all these bad thoughts of being a failure. And I'm like, oh no, not this time. I remember I had one of the sticky notes. I keep one in my quiver at all times. And it's just good, good quotes or something about it. So like, or if I wanted to succeed on that sticky note, I'll never forget it. It says, I am a world archery gold medalist. I am this, I am this, I am this. And it's just like in a line. And I would read it before every competition. I remember I took a pen out and I'm sitting there up against this tree and I mark out gold medalist and I wrote, I am a bronze medalist, dude. And I just like held it up and I read it like 10, 15 times in a row. And I go back and I'm like, we're not giving up. We're going to keep going. And I remember getting back to my hotel. It was like the whole same playthrough where like I was closing my eyes and I'm imagining shooting a javelina. I'm just imagining shooting all these targets. Okay, there's a 30 meter target slightly downhill, got to aim to the left. And I'm just imagining shooting these targets. And bam, bam, bam. Making all these perfect shots in my mind. I went to bed with so much clarity, and I was just like, it's going to be go time in the morning. I was supposed to be match number 8, And they ended up getting there and they're like, hey, we're shooting at this world-renowned golf course in Argentina. It's like a huge, huge thing. We were shooting in the jungle for all the qualifications, but for the finals, they try to make it like a very
flashy.
Cool, flashy.
Yeah.
So in like Italy, they shot in like the Romans training areas.
Wow.
For like,
Man.
dude, it was
And
epic.
heavy something.
Dude, it was cool.
That's
it's
awesome.
really cool. Like they're in the arena where fights and stuff happen and they're just shooting. Dude, it was epic. And I didn't get to do that. So anyways, we're shooting at this golf course. And
Yeah, some
Step
so,
down.
Yeah,
peon.
yeah. So we're,
Caddyshack.
yeah, right. So anyways, it's like a 3-story house or 3-story building. And I remember like you walk down to the first hole, but as you're walking down, it opens up and there's this big jumbotron. It's massive, massive jumbotron. And I look up and I see myself on it. And then I'm shooting against another guy from Argentina. And I'm just like, dude, it's coming back. And I was just like, but before that, they said, well, you're going to be match number 8. And they said, well, so-and-so has to make their flight, this and that. You're going to be match number 1. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Let's get this going.
Yeah.
Because I was just pumped. All these feelings are coming back, but you can still watch the video. I'll give you guys the link.
Yeah,
Still,
please.
it's still on YouTube. But as you see me, like as I'm walking down, dude, I'm ice cold. I'm stone cold. I'm not letting anybody know that my
Mike
nerves
Tyson.
are. Dude, that's why I'm saying the 90% of people that are scared and there's a girl screaming, it was there, but I wasn't letting it show.
Yeah.
I was there for a purpose and I was going to leave everything I had on the line. So shot number 1, bam, 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 gold, gold, gold. Feeling good, feeling confident. Next target, boom, boom, boom. Gold, good, good. Feeling good, feeling confident. Next target, boom, boom, boom. Good, good, good. Dude, I'm like lighting it up. So awesome. Get to that final target. But, I start thinking of all the cameras and stuff because, they had cameras. They're constantly changing the angles and the way it's looking. And I'm just like, man, it's a nerve-wracking thing. But I remember looking down at my feet and I'm like, you do not leave this last target unless you leave everything on the line. I don't care if you come in last place today. Everything you got, I remember pulling up that arrow first shot, bam, perfect. It was a 4, just right underneath the gold. All right, it was 42 yards away. Long shot.
That's a long shot.
With a long bow and wooden arrows, yeah. It's I got my up like this. So what I did was I put the thumbnail of my bed over like the gold, like where I want to hit, and then I just find like the tip of my nail. It's kind of hard to describe, but if I'm like holding up my thumb to where the gold is in line with my thumbnail, at the tip of my nail is where the tip of my arrow needs to be. So I'm aiming like 46 inches, 52 inches above the gold. So I'm picking out a piece on the horizon. Well, there's a hill over there. Oh, about halfway up that flagpole is where my tip of my arrow needs to be. So I'm just guessing, and just making the best shot possible. First shot, really good. Second shot, I start to have a little bit of a collapse. And instead of just letting go, you'll see it. The video, I just let go. Boom, it's a bad shot. It's like a 1. And I'm like, all right, just get your breath. Can do a couple of deep breaths. And I'm just like, that's all right. Everything we got right here. Same thing. Pull, 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 pull. Bam. Hit it really high. Like almost missed it. And I'm just like, I just put 2 of the worst shots I've ever put out on a target. Again, I'm like, but you know what? I can hold my head high, regardless if I won or not. And nobody's saying anything. It's just super quiet, and I'm just like, I look back behind me because Pazos, the Argentina shooter, he's behind me and he does this. And I'm like, I'm like, well, I just shot 3 arrows. And I look in my quiver, I got 1 arrow left. You're only supposed to shoot 3 arrows. I'm like, oh, shoot, did I not shoot it? And I start to knock it. And the judge is like, whoa, calm down. And I'm like, nobody's moving. Somebody needs to talk to me. And
What do I do with my hands?
I turn around and I look at my coach and he's like, just looking at me like I'm stupid. I was like, is it over? He said, yeah. I said, did I win? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay. Well, freaking say something, dude. I was like, so I just won bronze, dude. And it was so awesome. I felt like I was, no longer a failure. I mean, it was a very good, reset for me.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing is like I said, with weight loss or with your shooting or anything else, nobody sees the work that you're putting in, but to be able to reap those benefits, like whenever you're done, it's just, archery has taught me so much and it's given me so many life values that I continue to use still today, and like, same thing. Like I'm never satisfied with just be okay. And that's like one of the 5th points that I give. And what you got to do to be successful is never be satisfied with just okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, find ways to do what is unimaginable, like unimaginable. Succeed it. Like just, you may never reach it. You may never reach it. Mm-hmm. But if the moment you quit and you don't believe in yourself anymore, that's when you fail.
Yeah.
You know, so same thing, that voice just kept going off and off. And I'm like, dude, I was so close to a freaking gold medal. Like, cool. Bronze, yeah. You hold it in the light just so right and you squint your eyes and you're left like legally blind.
Can't see anyway.
Yeah. It's gold, bro.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, you know, so
that is still so
that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah. So, you know, ended up having to go back and, you know, I could share that story later, but you know, I just had to go back because there was something still in me. Like, dude, you got more in the tank.
Yeah.
You got more in the tank. You're supposed to be there. So yeah, it was really fun. But yeah, but archery at that moment with Italy, when I lost, you know, what was a big part of my life, because we had 2 kids. That was the final, that was like the completion to our family. And it was just like, you know, that was the lowest point of my life. And it happened with archery.
Yeah.
Something that I love so dearly.
Supposed to be at the highest and you end up having something low.
And I didn't ever care to do it again.
Yeah.
You know, but I had such a passion for wanting to succeed. And archery was something that I felt like I had to conquer because I had already given it so much.
Yeah.
I was so invested. And that's what ultimately caused me my downfall, like the bad self-images and everything else. Archery did that. I wasn't going to let archery have the last laugh on Josh Miller. I got my last laugh, you know. Mm-hmm. So I just being able to succeed. That's what I'm wanting.
That's inspiring. Hey, Sissy.
What are you doing?
Oh, pull that cord up and come give a hi.
You want to take a break for a second? I kind of
go. Yeah, we can real quick. Can we pause this real quick?
Yeah.
And just like that, like usual, we are back, and you had no idea we were gone.
Nope.
3 pee breaks later and a few conversations. We're back in action.
Ready to talk.
Back in action.
Yeah, I can't tell you where we finished at, but I can tell you where we're going to start off at, as long as you can tell me.
Yeah.
So,
where are we at, Swilly?
Well, what's it, Swilly?
Well, we were talking about, you know, the dynamics of atoms versus electrons.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah,
and how they correlate in a atomic theory.
Well, water molecules.
Yeah.
Guatemala.
Yeah. Isn't that photosynthesis or something?
What was that word I used on Snapchat today? I sent you.
Astronomical.
What was that?
I don't know.
Did you hear that? I used a big word and I can't.
Was it this morning?
No, it was on the way over here.
Gee whiz! I might not have opened it yet. Once I got here, I was kind of busy.
Ostentatious.
Spell it.
OSTEN.
No way. You sounding confident? I believe him. I know.
TATIOUS. And basically, ostentatious describes a person or a thing that conspicuously displays wealth, power, knowledge to attract attention, admiration, or envy.
He's not lying.
Peacocking.
Ostentatious.
There's your
big word of the day. That's what we need to start in these podcasts. Is big word of the day.
Yeah, like drop a word and then be like, yeah. If you never do a live podcast.
Yeah. You can't say we didn't teach you.
Here comes your head scratcher. No, so we got about you getting bronze. And like you said, you didn't feel like you were done yet. You still had more in the tank. And something, I don't know, something to prove, but probably to yourself. Like you knew you had something else going on.
Sure. Yeah. So like I said, bronze, it was awesome, you know.
Yeah. But still a major feat.
Yeah. No, it was amazing, you know, and especially since, you know, it hadn't been done since the 70s and Team USA comes out striking gold right out of the bat. Yeah. You know, like we across the board, compound, bare bow, Olympic recurve, traditional, like longbow, the whole 9 yards, like USA was just like cleaning freaking house. And we ain't done that in a while. So that was really nice.
Yeah, it's crazy the amount of non-USA shooters that are just freaking good.
Yeah.
I see a lot of Asian just doing really well.
Oh yeah. You know, and believe it or not, like Argentina, you would think, oh, they don't really have good access to archery equipment and stuff like that. Dude, they shoot lights out. like they ain't been in jungle for most of their lives.
Yeah,
you know?
No kidding.
Like, so yeah, it's like
the majority of archery sales is in the US. It's not bow hunters like we think about. The majority of sales worldwide are strictly for target. Like it's hugely different between the amount of just target shooters and like bow hunters.
Right.
And for me, just small town USA is like really?
Yeah. So whenever I get over there and I'm like teaching these Argentina shooters how to straighten their wood arrows, and I'm like, showing them spinning their arrows and then spinning mine, and they're like, it's freaking witchcraft. They're like, whoa, I'm just like, well, hold on, let me show you how to do it. And they're like, thank you, and I just help them improve their scores and everything else. They're the top competitors, like I said, but how much did I help myself during that time? Mm-hmm. But yeah, so no, with winning bronze, it was cool and everything, and I was very satisfied. It's like, but still, it's like still that little voice, like, man, dude, you were so close to getting the gold, and I'm just like, I'm feeding off of this. Like, I always try to find something. If I want to succeed, tell me I can't. Yeah. Tell me I can't. I promise you, I'm going to. Like, just tell me I can't. I'll tell myself I can't. I'll make up stories in my head of people that told me they can't.
Right shoulder.
I'm like, I'll. And then here's the thing. I'll believe it because I'm talking to my wife one time. Like, remember that time that so and so said that you could? She's like, you totally made that up. I'm like, probably did, but you remember it, right? Yeah, I got issues, bro. So, but and I find that funny because Michael Jordan used to do the same thing.
Yeah.
He would do the same thing. He'd be like, Charles Barkley told me I was stupid, or like I wasn't going to score 30.
Speaking of Charles Barkley, what do you think he said when he's trying to do a golf swing?
Go. Stop. There it is.
You say that about tell me I can't. Like that, my whole life, that was like what all my friends used to say was like, yeah, Dustin's that guy, like telling me won't do something. It was like, go flick that girl in the neck.
I was like, I'm going to say you probably can't unless it's 2026.
I say today's age, you probably could.
No, but like, I mean,
my name is Martha.
This pen is blue.
No, but
I love you, Swilly.
I know. Yeah. Composure. Okay. No, but anyway,
ostentatious. Yeah. Get ostentatious on us.
Anyways, back when I was younger, like they always make fun of me because they're like, "Yeah, tell Dustin he won't do something." And I usually do it, and it was always like not productive. It was always a goofy thing, like you won't do that.
It is you.
But like as I grew older, like I've learned that's a pretty good trait to have.
It's a
but
wonderful
you've got to
trait.
learn how to control it and steer it,
And that's it. So
ahead.
that's just tell me I can't, and watch me go.
Yeah.
But it was like that same thing. Like I was like, it's cool winning bronze, but I was pretty much done all over again. Didn't really shoot. I showed a couple local tournaments and stuff like that, but I didn't go out of my way to do anything like super awesome, and kind of about 6-7 months goes by after I'm not doing anything. And the Pan American Championships happen every 2 years. So anyways, next Pan American Championships coming around. I'm like, crap, this one slid under. Like nobody, like it wasn't well advertised. And they're like, still looking for people. They're like, but we want the same Team USA that we had. They're like, you guys know the sport. You know what you're looking for.
Had you still been shooting no matter what?
Yeah, not really. That's what I'm saying is I was shooting a little bit here and there, just kind of as a fun thing, like an outlet. If I get really upset or something, it's just
that's a big thing for me.
Yeah, it's clear your mind.
Absolutely.
Like just go out and get pissed at archery instead of like, something else.
Yeah.
Whenever you're shooting bad, but just kind of shooting, plinking around the house. And I remember telling my wife, I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm not going to, because they asked me to be on the team, and I said no. Originally, I said no. It's like, because I was always telling her I was done. I was trying to focus on stuff around the house, being present for the kids. Yeah. Just trying to focus on that. So I was like, no, thanks. And she's like, well, good for you, and all that good stuff. But it's like, man, there's that voice. Like, man, what if? Like, what if? What if I really did it?
My worst fear.
What if I actually could pull something off?
Yeah.
What if? What if?
Yep.
And that was eating away at me. And I remember I was like, I told Cassie, I set her down one night, and I was like, you know what? I got to do this. Mm-hmm. And she's like, okay. She's like, just don't tell me you're going to be done with archery and not be done with archery.
Yeah.
She's like, that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Because I'm always like, I'm done with it. But it always pulls me back, man. It's like, I got something else to prove. I got something else I want to do. But it was, man, them what ifs were killing me. And I was like, I really wanted a gold medal. I couldn't stand it, And then finally I called the person back, and I'm like, yeah, go ahead and put me in. And I told Cassie, I was like, I've got to do this with everything I've got. Like, I need you to support me. Like, I got to have this. And she's like, yeah.
You've already had it in your grasp.
Dude, I'm telling you. And it's like, I knew what I needed to do to get better. I knew where I failed.
Right.
I knew where I needed to improve. But with all that, I still got to take kids to tournaments for basketball or football or doing piano lessons, whatever. It's like that, because ultimately
chasing coons on Coon Island.
That 100%. That comes first. Is like putting family first.
Yeah.
What does that say about me if I don't?
Yeah.
That's not who I am. So I was still wanting to put in like 2 hours of work a day. So as I'm getting home, I'm tired. Everybody's tired. But I still wanted to get it because I'm invested at this point. I wanted it so bad. Mm-hmm. So same thing, practice every single day, 1 to 2 hours minimum, Monday through Sunday, every single day. Fast forward, we get there, day 1, I come out, guns are blazing. I'm shooting the best I've ever shot. I'm just bam, 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 gold, gold, gold. Day 1 comes to a screech. I'm way above everybody. Day 2, even higher. Like, it was like my foot was on that gas pedal and I did not let up. It was just that mentality of, mercy, like I'm not showing any mercy to anybody. Like, this is where I'm going to leave my little legacy. Yeah. It's just trying to find ways to keep myself going and with everything I had, So 2 days of shooting, awesome. It's raining, it's storming every single day. You'd think Mexico, we were in Chiapas, San Cristobal de la Casa, and you would think, oh, Mexico, it's going to be nice and warm, but it was freezing. It was so cold because we're up in the mountains. So every day rain, I didn't pack for it. So, like, I'm cutting glass through my shirt.
Trying to find Band-Aids.
Like this. Dude, I was rubbed raw.
Being careful not to hit it with a string.
Yeah, sound like a banjo going off. But, yeah. So, like, anyways, it was just really cold. But there was a big, massive storm coming. They're like, hey, we got to get this going. And, like, the rivers are rising. So even through the rivers, through the mountains, we couldn't finish shooting on some days because the water level was coming up so fast. It was like taking out bridges and everything else. They were like, we got to get you guys out of here. So they relocated the chute for like the shoot offs and everything like that.
That's knocking you off rhythms and.
Yeah, them, not me. I was set.
Yeah.
But we get there, and anyways, get to the shoot offs. I'm number 1. I'm going against number 4, a guy from Argentina, pretty good shooter. I take him out right out of the get go. Shot really well, and then they said, hey, nothing fancy, nothing crazy. We're going to keep shooting. We're just going to go ahead and do the gold medal matches out here. The storm's coming fast. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, damn right, storm's coming.
Bring it.
Yeah. So ended up shooting,
yes.
And I know like it's not as like climatic as like the first story with Argentina.
Rolls.
Yeah, dude, it wasn't even close. I just won my first gold medal. Like I
really?
Ended up shooting against a guy from Mexico. Dude, I walked off like a freaking hard ass. Like like I'm looking at the ground. I'm like, just big cheesing it in my mind. I wake up
in the morning, I piss excellent.
Dude, it was like, it should have been like the highlight of my goal, and everything.
Yeah.
It wasn't, because not only was I okay with 1 gold medal, I wanted 2.
Yeah.
And it was like, winning 1, cool. But it was like a Kobe mentality, Have you ever seen like where he got like the game 2 or game 3, and they're like, are you not happy with the win? He's like, job's not finished.
Right. One of the hardest working guys there was in sports.
Yeah. That was my mentality. It was like, 1 gold medal, cool. I'm not there for 1. Mm-hmm. I want 2.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for my teammate because what it is you shoot singles. It was super cool. Ended up winning that. Blasted through it. Awesome. But now they have the medal matches for the partner shooting.
I did read that, and I didn't understand
what they do.
Part of it.
So what they do is like they take the top shooter from each country, male and female. So like I was the top shooter for USA in the longbow division.
Okay.
And then they took the top female longbow shooter in the division, and then they pair you guys together, and then you ended up shooting against all the different countries, top female, top male. So it was ourselves for USA, myself and a woman named Joella Bates. She's the only female in the world to finish the the Fab 5 or whatever was the top 5 for the African hunts. She's in the Hall of
really?
Fame. Yeah, she's
like
in the Hall
Grand
of Fame.
Slam of Africa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the 5,
wow.
so like elephant.
She done it with a longbow too?
Yeah, or just archery. I think she got 1 with compound, but she killed a lioness, a charging lioness. Like she's a very interesting individual.
If you saw me doing that, I'd turn up in a package of hamburgers. Because I wouldn't make the shot. Guarantee you.
So that was my.
That's crazy.
That was my.
So she's a
teammate.
she's a She's a badass.
She's hard ass. Yeah. She's,
Wow.
You wouldn't think so. And she used to be like a power lifter. Like she was shredded.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And yeah, there you go. You guys over there on the table. Dude, that's the whole reason I wore a tight shirt, but it doesn't look as good on me. I was watching your podcast. I'm like, these guys got tight shirts. I'm going to find the tightest shirt I got.
Mediums.
And it's like a bluey shirt. Like it was
That's
the
awesome.
80s. Yeah,
You
but it
look
doesn't
good.
look.
If it was colder here, I'd flick your nipple. Or I'd tell him to because he would. He done said he would.
Hey, there's your next goal. I guarantee with that mentality.
Yeah, I keep throwing you
I
off
believe
talking.
you,
I'm
so we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I go and find her. She just shot lights out. She's not even close. Like the top person, second person is like way behind her. We were both killing it.
Yeah.
So I go and I find her. She had just shot her gold medal match, and I see her and she's crying by a tree, like just sobbing. I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, I just lost. She said, I just lost my gold medal match. And I'm like, shit, like I can, like at that moment I felt so sorry for her because I'm like, I understand what you put into it, and I understood what it felt like to lose. I was in that same position, but at that same time, I wasn't going to comfort her. I was like, look, I know you lost. I know it hurts. Suck it up.
Yeah, now's not the time.
Suck it up. I need a teammate. Listen, we're the top dogs here. People are going to recognize who the hell we are when we're done. I'm just like, I'm telling her, and she's like, slowly, she's like, yeah. And then like by the time I'm done giving this speech, we're beating on our chest like gorillas. We need to be in straight jackets. And we're like, let's freaking go,
Send it.
And then send it, full send, baby. And so they call us up, and we're going against Argentina. We're going like the guy that I
Seems
just
like you're
beat.
always against Argentina.
Dude, for the Pan Americans, they're tough. They're a tough team.
Damn. Okay.
So we're going up against Argentina. I just beat him for like the fourth going to the gold medal match, and that Argentina just beat Joella for gold.
Wow.
So there's some grudge there.
Yeah.
So anyways, the way it works is for the team shoot, you and your partner, there's 4 different targets that you're going through the shooting, right? So at the first target, the women go up first, shoot their arrow, go behind the men come up, they shoot the target, women again, and then men again. So each person shoots the target twice.
Okay.
So you score 4 arrows for America, 4 arrows for Argentina, right? So we go to shot number 1. It's 39 meters.
And are you guys just adding up your scores? So you're not playing like, okay.
Yeah. So you know
that's kind of a mind game.
Yeah.
Like, if your partner shoots, I don't know what the score is, say it's 11 out of whatever, and she shoots a 10, you're like, well, I need an 11. Or if she shoots an 11.
Yeah, it's definitely,
or you can be like, well, if she shoots an 11, I can get comfortable. Like, that's a different kind of strategy that'd be hard to plan for.
It is a strategy, but the strategy is just kick ass.
It's like darts.
Cutthroat.
Just everything you can, everything you got. I mean, you're
and at
not,
that level, you guys can do that. I mean, that's
sure.
So
yeah, well, first shot goes up. Joella, she makes a bad shot. Argentina makes a good shot. I'm like, all right, that's okay. We're gonna go this. I go up, bad shot. I'm like, I knew what the yardage was. I guess my gap was wrong.
What kind of distances were there?
So that one uphill was like 39 meters, and
they were all different, I guess.
Yeah. There's different size targets. The first target was at 39, almost 40 meters, but it was straight up. Like it's up on a mountaintop. So if somebody says, "Oh, it's 45 degrees angle," you're like, "Oh, that's not that bad." That's extreme in archery. Yeah. So I'm aiming, and I got a picture of it. I'm aiming like this, and it's 39 meters away. So ended up making a bad shot. Okay, that's fine. The guy from Argentina made an amazing shot. So then we go back up. Joella made another bad shot. So now we got 3 bad shots up there, and I'm like, that's all right. I'm going to make a good shot. And I had a little bit of a yip, and instead of like bringing it down, I was saying let down. And as I let down, halfway down, I just let go of the string. Arrow goes like 40 feet to the left of the target, and I just missed. It's the 3rd target I've ever missed, all from big pressure shoots. And I'm just like, I just told my bow, and I'm looking up, and I'm like, okay. And I just stood there for a second, and I was like, all right, I got to find the words to tell Joella that we're still going to win. So I turn around, I'm looking at Joella, I'm like, hey, let's shake this off. We're going to be all right. We're going to do the next one. Next one's going to be good. And she's like, and just like walks to the next target. I'm like, she is pissed at me, so I was like, all right, well, but we still had that mentality. We're like, we're not going to give up. We're still going to give everything we had. She knew that. I knew that. We were okay. So second target comes up. We start shooting it. We're shooting it really good. Argentina shoots it really good, but we gained a few points back. We're really far back because Argentina lit the first target up. We did not.
Yeah.
So we made up a little bit, few points on target 2. Target 3, same thing. Make up a couple more points. Now, it's like, it's not really reachable, but it's like, if we shoot absolutely wonderful and they don't, we can probably still pull this out of our butts.
Yeah.
So we go up, go to the first shot, Joella, bam, hits a 4-5 liner. And then the Argentina made a decent shot. I come up, boom, 4-5 liner. It's like right at the gold. And it's like 21, 22 meters away. And then the women come back up. Joella strokes gold, like just hits a great shot. And then Argentina woman, she was watching Joella and she lets down to see how she shoots. And she's like, she sees gold and she's like, oh. She starts to draw up and she got shakes. She yipped it. Missed the target.
Awesome.
Whiffed it.
You're like,
And I'm like,
oh, Play-Doh snakes.
and I'm sitting there looking at the target and I'm like, you know, I said, if I stroke bullseye on this, I know we'll win. I know it. I know this target. I know where my gap needs to be. I know that we can win.
What are you looking at distance on this one?
22 meters.
Okay.
So it's about 24 yards.
Okay.
And I'm just like, I'm sitting there and it's like a regular indoor target, like the NFAA size.
5 spots. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know,
So you're
the
looking at
gold is probably in the bottom of this bottom.
Yeah. Yep.
So for the audience, that's about, that's what I'm aiming at.
Okay.
At 22 yards away. But I don't want just the tip of it. I want,
You want
dead
Yeah.
center.
You don't want a liner. You want a full.
I want in the middle.
What do
of
they call
that.
it? In out.
In out. So
In
there's an X in the middle, and if you hit that, it's an
Right.
extra point.
Yep.
So I'm like, if I can hit that, I know I'll win. You know? And so I'm drawing up, man, and it's just like everything's beautiful. Feel confident. Just slow breath and shot breaks. And it's bam, right in the freaking middle. I couldn't have went up there and stuck an arrow any cleaner in the middle of this target. And the guy shot at the exact same time I did. He made a good shot, pretty good shot. But I was like, I didn't know if we won. Like I told myself I knew that we would win. I didn't know if we did.
Yeah.
And I remember Joella, she's like, yeah. And she's like screaming behind me. And I turned around sharply. I said, Joella, calm down. I said, I don't know if we won. She said, I think we did. And she goes right past me and we go up and we start scoring. We ended up winning by a couple points.
No kidding.
And so we
man.
had just got our second medal.
Wow.
And then I lost it. That's when I was like, dude, it was like, oh my gosh. You know, I started screaming. We're
Group hugs
hugging.
in the shower tonight.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So it was awesome, man. And let me tell you though, I think what finally sealed the deal with me for archery was, and dude, I'm getting goosebumps. thinking
I've
about
got
it.
chills.
Yeah,
right
So
now.
as you're going up on the stadium and they're starting to play the national anthem, like on the national anthem, you know, because they only play it for the first place winners. You're on first place. You're standing on that podium. You're looking at your teammates and you're looking at people recording, and people back home are seeing this. And you got your hand over your heart and you're listening to the national anthem. You're singing it.
Like it makes
and
sense.
they direct that gold medal, dude. I'm telling you, I had to stop in the middle of the song just to like collect myself because I'm like tearing up the entire time on it. Let me tell you, that didn't happen once. That happened twice.
That's amazing.
Boy, and it was not easier the second time.
Yeah.
There was a woman that was a Marine that was shooting in barebow, and she's like videotaping. She's like, ooh. Like, you know, I'm like, she's like,
Well, like I was saying earlier, like, it would
do it in
mean
a
something
minute.
to me,
Dude,
like
exactly.
for once, like actually working for the country, from and then to like represent it in a passionate way, like
that you love.
Yeah, like that's just like a double whammy. That's just as simple as put it. That's just amazing.
That is awesome.
there's
So
no
she
greater
probably
feeling.
understood. She probably understood.
Yeah, and she's barebow archer of the world. Like she's just
Really?
she's been a 2-time Pan American archer of the year. Like she's just a toad. Like she's the goat.
That's
like
awesome.
whenever it comes to archery.
So is that what your tattoo on your right arm is about?
No, actually, so the tattoo on this is an entire sleeve, and it's for my grandparents.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so one of my grandfathers was a paratrooper.
Okay.
Sorry, originally told you I wanted to be a paratrooper. I
Yeah.
still have a bunch of his medals.
Yeah.
I got 2 planes. He had 2 jumps. So and his favorite plane was a B-52 bomber. So,
Oh, of course. Why not?
So I got 2 planes for his 2 jumps.
Yeah.
And then I have a wolf back here. My grandmother was actually part Indian.
No kidding.
So I got that for her. And then underneath I got Mother Mary for my other grandmother. She got to read from at Sacred Heart. She got to read
Yep.
from the book in between, their different. Anyway, she read from the book during the
Ceremonies.
services.
Okay.
Yeah, and then my other grandfather, he found Diamond Ranch, which is our farm in Coon Island. So I have Diamond Ranch tattooed up here and a lot of stuff. And
That's
then,
awesome.
And then my brother was also military, so like that just kind of, this is actually for him. So
cool.
all this just wraps up in like 5 or 6 different people. So
That's cool.
That's what that means. Yeah.
I don't have as cool of a story for mine, but yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. 18 drunk, probably a bad idea.
No,
Mexico.
I was older. I was like 18 and a half.
But yeah, that's an awesome story about that. Like, man.
Yeah, that's perseverance.
When you was telling that story, dude, I was like, I could
I'm
feel it. Like,
well, and you're a hell of a storyteller too. Like
exactly,
it fits.
Oh, well, I've had practice. I've told it a couple times. Plus, I was there, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
You know?
should have seen it in color.
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, it's something that I'll never get to relive, but I'm like, I love that I get to share that.
Yeah.
And at least tell people, but I'm an average Joe. You know, I'm your average dude. I got bills to pay just like you. I got stuff. I got kids. I got issues just like everybody else. You know?
Yep.
So you can do it. Like, and that's the thing is people say you can put anything, like you can do anything you put your mind to, right? Like you can preach that to a kid as much as you want in life. But until they actually see what it takes and they understand what it takes and you're actually able to share with them, this is the training that it takes. This is the motivation it takes. This is what it takes, you know? And that's the speeches that I usually give whenever I get to be a keynote speaker is what it takes, you know, because people don't see that.
Yeah.
You know?
It's hard to grasp what it
Yeah.
actually
So
takes.
it is true. You can do anything you put your mind to, but people don't see what it actually takes.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't understand like they think the motivation is going to be there all the time. The motivation is not always going to be there.
It comes in waves.
That's like people always ask me, they're like, how do you get up and go to the gym every morning? Like, I just can't motivate myself. Well, I'm not motivated most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time I make myself get up.
You know,
I go to the gym and then afterwards I feel good about it.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not like I wanted to before. I wanted to stay in bed and sleep, you know, but
I set an alarm every morning for 3:30 to get up and go to the gym because I had to leave my house at 5 a.m. to get to work. So I can go to Piedmont. I got 2 gym memberships. I usually go in the evenings. Like I usually make it up, but like it's nice to be able to go in the mornings and already have that accomplished. And Swilly, usually when I'm heading to work, he's like finishing his workout and sends me a message. I'm like, damn, dude. Like again, you hit snooze and instead of getting up at 3:30, I got up at 4:40. It's
You
like
guys are troopers.
well,
Well,
I told my buddy like
That's what it takes. That's
what it takes. Like if I want to be like him, because he's in better shape than I am. Like it went from
I don't know.
you are, dude. Like you're freaking jacked. You're stronger. You're in better shape. You eat better. You know, like I'm a lot more looser on my drinking and eating habits, and like you've got it going on. And like I look up to you. Like you do a great job. You know, and
Thank you.
I appreciate you what you do and sharing that because it's an inspiration.
Well, yeah, and I want people to know like that's possible for anybody.
Yeah.
But like you said, you want people to know that you know we're average Joes and how it takes to get to that point. Like everybody looks at you at the end point, they see you when you're all muscled up and you got a 6-pack, but they don't see when you was 260 pounds. And, you know, you was struggling.
Yeah.
You was starving. You thought that next meal, like you wanted to smash that cake so bad. And like your body almost sweating because you could almost taste it, but you like forced yourself. No, you're not doing that because that's what caused you to get in this situation. You know, like,
Sure.
so and just like you, like, I'm sure there's days you don't want to get out there and shoot. You know, you don't want to get up. You don't. And I've heard people say, you know, like, I don't feel like going to work. Well, I never feel like going to work. But that's something,
No.
as a man, I need money, so I got to go to work.
Yep.
Like, that's part of it. You just got to face those real
Reality.
realities.
Yeah.
And sometimes the motivation doesn't hit you until after the fact.
Yeah. You gotta find ways to keep motivating yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you said, motivation's not going to be there. But most of the time.
Yeah.
It's unless you're super, super passionate, motivation is the hardest struggle that you'll come across.
You got to
But-
look at that end goal.
You do. Like do it. How bad do I want it? You know, and that's what I always say is like, name your price and determine if it's worth it.
Yeah.
I think I said that earlier. How bad do I want it? Am I willing to make those sacrifices? Am I not? If I even have the slightest doubt, it's not worth it. Not worth it to me. So name your price, determine if it's worth it, and then set a goal, crush that shit.
Yep.
You know,
And when you do
don't
crush
half-ass
it,
Yeah.
that is a very, just like killing a big buck. That's the only thing.
Yeah, every time you were talking about like with archery, I relate it to killing a target deer. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Oh my goodness.
it seems
Like,
unachievable, and I've done it a few times. It's like, you know, if I can do it, you can accomplish whatever you're going after. It's not going to happen every year,
Sure.
You know, and you're not ever you're going to shoot bronze or gold or whatever or win your MMA matches.
Right.
You're not always going to conquer the day with passionate words and wisdom and motivation to go to the gym or whatever it is, big or small. You're going to have those freaking problems. It's going to delay you from achieving them, but it's that perseverance that you have just preached this entire time that allows you to overcome it. You don't hit your snooze. When I'm hitting my snooze, you know, I'm going to say, well, I went to bed later. You know what? That was my choice. I chose to procrastinate on this, or I got busy with this, or hey, life happened. And yeah, I was up last night till almost 2 a.m, couldn't sleep. I still got up and went to work today. I'm exhausted, tired, so if I stumble around my words tonight, I apologize. But you know what? Like, I still done it, you know, and I'll hit the gym tomorrow. It's just kind of one of them deals. Like, don't let today affect tomorrow too.
Sure.
You know, if you make one mistake, don't take one mistake turn into two.
And you're gonna make mistakes.
You're gonna make mistakes.
Yep.
You know, how many times did you look for your gold and you hit red or whatever the color is? You know, but the next one,
It'll be better.
Try to do better. You know?
It'll be better. That's right, man.
Sometimes those failures are what it takes to drive you to hit that next level.
100%. You need your failures. If everybody was successful, it'd be a boring ass world.
Exactly.
And the strongest people come from the worst of times.
Oh yeah, and like I said, the life lessons that you learn. It's so easy to want instant gratification.
Yeah, it is.
But
I do represent archery with like life lessons because it's a slow process. Whether you're shooting, you know, the simplest form that you are, or I'm shooting a compound bow, or hell, even a crossbow, guys. You can literally learn the process and the mind games and the mind accomplishments and overpowering and stuff. You can get that with anything with archery, and I love relating life to that. Whether it's, you know, the way you use your trigger mechanism, whether you're trying to shoot a hinge or a back pressure tension or a thumb button, like. Anybody can go up there and grab a 30-pound weight and curl it. I mean, this is easy, but you can take a 15-pound weight and curl it really slow and burn worse. You can grab a bow and grab a release and punch a trigger and be like, oh, hit bullseye one time, manipulate it 10 times. You know, there's processes and ways of doing things, and the easiest way isn't always the best way.
That's something I've noticed too about people who are successful. You talked about it, Caleb talked about it. It's methodical. You see where you want to get, you come up with a method of how you're going to get there. You don't just go swinging for the fences. You look at this next step, like, how am I going to get that? Where am I failing at? Right. How am I going to correct my failure? You know, like, how am I going to move forward? You don't, you know, and that's something that I try to get better at every day is finding, like, because sometimes you do, like, even when you're being somewhat successful, I may go to the gym every day, but am I still being successful? Am I getting something out of it, or am I just in emotion now?
Yeah,
it's easy to do. So every day, like, you know, I try to put like a new goal in my mind, like, you know, trying to get into the real estate thing. There for a while, I was putting up every day, walk up to somebody new that I didn't know from Adam, stick my hand out and say, you know, introduce myself. Just introduce me. And by doing new goals like that, and I think you said it earlier, you find joy, and it brings, you know, blessing to you. Sometimes you meet new people and you're like, man, I would have never done that if I hadn't challenged myself to step, you know. And it's just like, man, like, I'm glad I did that today.
I would have I may not ever met you again if I didn't decide to finally start the podcast. Like, well, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I had to buy everything twice because I messed up the first time, but here we are, and like, we're meeting cool people and having cool stories, and it's an inspiration. It's a damn good time, and we're having a learning experience that people are relating to.
This podcast is one of the biggest blessings is for myself.
Yeah,
like
100%.
just being honest with you guys.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Like I said earlier, like, I feel like it's a funnel. It's funneling good people into my life for a reason, you know, like, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on tonight.
Yeah, man. Thanks. I mean, it's been an honor having you. Like, it really has been. I've loved your stories. I can feel your stories. Like, seriously, you're talking. I'm getting chills. I'm visually, like, I'm there with you. You know, like, I'm in the back cheering. You know, I'm the Marine holding the picture, the camera, and be like, you freaking got it, dude. You know, I'm chest bumping in your back. Like, I feel it, and like, you seem like a very humble, just grassroots guy that, I mean, our people are going to be able to relate to, and somebody's going to get something out of this, and hopefully pick up a bow or accomplish something in life that's got them down.
Sure.
And understand that, hey, I can freaking do this. You know, literally putting pen to paper. That's one thing you guys that are successful like yourself. putting that pen to paper. And that's something I'm going to start implementing in my life.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
I have to, because I think that's the one thing that maybe something small that's keeping me from reaching some stuff.
Sure. I mean, but that's the first step for putting in work.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, just if you just write something down, that's already a journey right there.
Yeah.
And then you can look back at that whenever you do succeed, and you're like, it all started with that very first word.
Check.
It started with that.
It'd be cool to check.
You know,
off.
and that's it. So, you know, and I think I'll leave that with the final, you know, piece of advice or the parting gift is, and I said it before, is, you know, never be satisfied with just okay.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have a mindset to be able to continue going. So never be satisfied with okay. Push yourself to unimaginable limits, regardless if you'll ever meet them. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like that saying, if you shoot for the moon, you'll land among the stars or whatever.
I've said it,
you know, it's kind of silly to say, but that's absolutely right. Yeah. You know, you'll never understand how far you can go until you actually go. I mean, I'm a humble, I'm a hermit, you know, like I just like to be here. I would have never traveled. I've traveled all across the world just for archery. You know, it's like just seeing the places I'll go and the stuff that I'll do. And, you know, but it all started with just a little mind, a little bit of a goal, you know, and just the stuff I've learned. But, you know, never be satisfied with just okay. Push yourself to new limits. I could have been okay with just making Team USA. I could have been okay with making top 16. I could have been okay with bronze. It's pretty badass.
Yes, it is.
I could have been okay with 1 gold medal, but just never be satisfied with just okay. So I got to find out what else to do, because I'm running out of stuff to do. But I don't know. Like you said, I might take up crocheting.
You got something.
I'm like challenge old Graham over here. They're like, you call that an after? Like, look at this. Suck it, Grandma. 89 years of doing this for nothing. I've done this in 3 months.
Gold for gold.
You know, here's a funny story I got for you from where you're from, Newlyville.
Yeah.
You know, Jason Tinker.
Yeah.
We was in Walmart one time. I think we were buying chicken livers to go catfishing. Mm-hmm. And you know how Jason talks. He's got that real Southern accent.
Yeah.
And we get up there to the thing, and the lady was like, looked at him, and she's like, where are you from? He goes, Newlyville. And she's like, I didn't think you was from around here. He's like, it's like 5 minutes down the road.
Yeah. I think it's because we're just so close to Arkansas. And I think it also depends on how much you drink. Like that, you know, you start to get a little bit more Southern.
Especially if you're around other guys that's Southern, you get that Southern twang.
Jason just always had that. I mean, like super Southern.
Really?
Like,
do you talk real slow too?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, I mean, he just.
Are you stereotyping?
No. I just the other night we were talking about people that like the ADHD in me. When people are talking really slow and draw, I always finish their sentence for them. Like I have a problem with I know what you're saying. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna work on that.
Yeah.
But man, thank you. I mean, seriously, thank you. I appreciate you coming out. I've flat enjoyed it. Hopefully we can maybe do some shooting and more talking in the future. Like I've loved it. You know, I wish you the best of luck on your endeavors. And your gas tank is not empty. You still got some fuel in that fire, and I hope that whatever you do, you kick ass at it, and I guarantee you will.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Swilly, man, thanks again for coming out here. You always out here, left-hand man, but I appreciate you.
Is that
dude.
like a left-hand cigarette?
Yeah, I don't smoke, but yeah, sure.
No, I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, man. Hey,
this is
you guys watching.
Blessing.
Thank you. You know, if you guys get a chance, check us out. We're heading to Texas. By the time this will be out, I'll be able to be down there. If you guys need help on some mineral or protein products for deer herd and turkey herd, hog herd, hit up Antler Edge. If you're looking for some camouflage on your back, make you look good, feel good, check out Vika. You know, if you're looking to grow your plot for your deer, critters, whatever, Whitetail Greens out of Greenville. Holler at us if you need any help. And with that, go shoot your bow and fling some arrows.
And stay wild.
Stay wild. See you guys.